How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a very, very special episode of Nightcap. I'm joined by Big Paul of the extended Zoobox family. How's it going, Big Paul?
It's going well, Sean. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great because I get to watch one of my favorite documentaries. This is the third time I've watched this documentary on this channel.
Hmm.
So this is the third commentary for Animal Passions.
Ooh.
Now, the fact that this channel is called Zoobox, please, that's just a funny coinky dink. That's not. I would like to not be judged for that. That's just a coincidence. Okay, we just go where the night takes us, where the passion goes, where the passion is. That's what
Right,
we do.
it's not a low key reference to the
To
actual
zoophilia.
passion of it.
No, it's not. It's not. Although now that's the association. That's the forced association. I just planted that in everybody's head. I'm gonna get memed to death. I'm gonna get memed off the internet now.
Hey man,
Like that cuck.
just let it ride, man. Let it
Just
ride.
like that fucking cuck, dude. Some guy was in the comments section, apparently some manosphere dude saying that I was gonna cause this guy to become a mass shooter
Oh, please.
because of my bullying. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna be causing that, but if it happens, we'll definitely talk about it.
Mm. Mm-mm.
But yeah. So what we're gonna do is we got a little extra. We got extra features for Animal Passions tonight. We're not gonna just go in raw dogging it. We want everybody to understand what it is we're talking about. So we have, I think this is a video of bitesizevegan.org. Will be wonderful YouTube channel. It's seems probably like one of these weirdo nutty crunchy sex therapist types. It looks like.
You'd be giving them a lot of exposure time.
Giving them a lot of exposure time.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to help them out. I'm here to help people, Paul. This channel is about healing.
I see.
Maybe you should get with the fucking program, buddy. Listen. And also, I would like to say this is all Paul's fault. This is all Big Paul's fault. He was like, he heard me joking around. I was like, oh shit, I got all these new subs. I should watch this Animal Passions again. He sends me a message. He's like, yo, dude, let me in.
Yeah. Well, two things. I always wanted to be on this ride along with you on Nightcap. And the other one, I didn't see it. And I don't want to watch those things alone.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. To watch these kind of things, you got to do it late at night. You got to have a drink in your hand. Yeah. And it's good to have a friend or two. Because, I mean, like, what would be weirder than just sitting in your house in your underwear at 2 o'clock in the morning watching Animal Passions while you're getting drunk by yourself? You know?
Yeah.
You got to have
it's kind of a hard thing to explain,
The wife comes in. What are you watching?
I know what it looks like, but it's not.
I'm trying to learn. I'm being critical.
I guess.
All right, so we're going to start off with like this little explainer about the blurred lines of bestiality. Sex with animals, they call it. That's what they call it in the biz. So we're going to start with that. And, you know the deal, Paul. If you need me to stop, you just say pause. I stop a lot, as you know already. Mm-hmm. I love to hear myself talk.
Bestiality is a topic so taboo, the word alone is enough to elicit reactions ranging from discomfort and disgust to moral outrage and ethical condemnation. Despite its relevancy within a wide range of fields, bestiality is largely absent from public discourse. But what if these much reviled acts aren't some rare perversion of human sexuality relegated to the darkest corners of the internet, but actually common, everyday practices, supported and enjoyed by the vast majority of society?
See, this is what all perverts seek to do. All perverts seek to normalize and rationalize their fetishes. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them, without fail, always.
You say tomato, I say tomato. Because you say dark, perverted, deep secrets of the internet, and I say someone's passion, someone's love connection.
No, because they're just like, what's up? It's just like, oh. No. Everybody does. Everybody wants to fuck animals secretly. You didn't know that? Oh, even you. You like pets, right? You like to see your pet happy, don't you? It's probably because you want to have sex with it.
Yeah. Let's see if the lines get less blurred.
It's just like, you ever play fetch with your dog? Trying to have sex with it. You're basically trying to turn it on.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Emily from Bite Size Vegan, and welcome to another Vegan Nugget. The definition of the term bestiality or bestiality for any non-Americans wishing to pronounce it as it's actually spelled has evolved over time.
And she's got to be pretentious about it. No, it's actually bestiality.
Wow.
I'm good with bestiality. It seems like it makes more sense.
It really does. And now I just feel inclined to Google that. But you know what? I'm going to take the vegan's word for it.
Again, do you see they're trying to hide the ball? They're always trying to hide the ball.
What do you think about the initial shock and awe? Everything you know is right. This is how it's pronounced. So right off the bat, what you think you know about, you don't even know how to say it. So that's the first step. Opening the door to enlightenment.
You're already a dumb asshole. You're already a jerk off. You think you're smart. You think you're standing up against something. You think you got principles, dude? Yeah. I don't think so.
No, you don't. You don't even know how to spell it.
You want to get into bestiality. That's what you want.
From its origins, signifying depraved conduct befitting an animal, to the modern denotation of sexual relations between humans and animals. I wanted to note that for the sake of clarity and expediency, I will mostly be using the term animal in place of the more accurate non-human animal, a decidedly awkward afterthought attempting to rectify a false division addressed in this very video. And rest assured...
What?
When she says false division, what is she talking about here?
Hold on, I gotta go back.
Let's break this down.
I fucking got it distracted. And then when my brain clicked back on, I was like, what?
You're staring at the chest tattoo.
In place of the more accurate non-human animal, a decidedly awkward afterthought attempting to rectify a false division addressed in this very video. And rest assured, I won't be showing any images or depictions of bestiality today.
Well...
Which just lost me a few viewers.
No, because you're going to be talking about bestiality, bitch.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think that tattoo hurt?
I don't know.
How many hours do you think?
I don't know. It's just commitment, but I don't think they look at things of pain. It's probably some enlightenment. I don't know. She's probably got a whole video on it.
Maybe she does. It's part of the vegan lifestyle. Do you have to, if you want to be a vegan and stuff, do you have to be like this? Is that part of the code?
There's like a memo that gets sent out. I don't know if initiation, because initiation could imply, less than inclusive.
Yeah, right? Well, that's true.
It definitely seems like, you got to go to the same, earth science, store, some thrift shop. I don't know.
Why are they all the same, Paul? Why are they all the same?
Because they all come from the same place.
Vermont.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I bet your prophet knows. Exactly. I bet your prophet knows.
Oh, he probably knows a bunch of these people. He's probably has to go out with his shotgun and protect his farm and his animals and his goats from roving bestiality people.
Those bestiality people.
Those besties. Those besties coming up to the farm in the night. Hey, what are you doing over there? Nothing. Trying to pull up their pants, running out of the barn. Sick fucks, dude.
It's not what it looks like.
You can find detailed citations to everything I state, as well as a bibliography and loads of additional resources and things I didn't have time to fit in this video on the blog post linked in the description below. With that out of the way, it's time to take on this timeless taboo. Bestiality may seem like...
So it just seems like, it's just so right that tempo, you're starting off, you don't even say it right. This is how you spell it, growing up pronunciation. And then it's always another shock and awe factor with I have so much resources to back up what I'm about to say that I can't possibly fit it here. I don't have the time to break it down. So I'm going to put this link here and just kind of plant in you, I know my shit, and look at all this tons of stuff that, let's be honest, no one's going to go click on afterwards. I want
exactly. It's isn't that like an academic trick? It's just there's 1,000 citations at the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a pretty black and white matter. Sex with animals is wrong. End of story. But such a quick dismissal, hastened no doubt by the discomfort of the subject, neglects to account for the cultural permeation of bestiality throughout history and our everyday lives. Ancient mythology is rife with gods taking the form of animals in order to copulate with humans.
They do the same thing with pederasses. In the Greeks touch boys all the time.
Paul. They do. They do. That's what
you did a nightcap on that one too.
I've talked about and watched so much shit about just degenerate behavior,
and
it's all of the talking points are exactly the same. They all mirror each other. They're all trying to hide it. They're all trying to normalize it. They're well, it's actually it's not really that fucked up when you really start to think about it. People are just people, and who are we to undermine how a person might feel innately? their natural inclinations.
Sick. Just because it's taboo for you doesn't mean it's not a spiritual enlightenment for someone else.
Yeah, look at this Pasiphae here. Huh? Look at Lita and the Swan. You know?
And I bet you there's more in the descriptions.
I bet you there's more in the citations.
There's so many.
Among many other bestial
shit. There we go.
Themes we readily teach children in middle school. But were a teacher to hand out a story involving sex between humans and animals written in the modern day, a cultured appreciation of the classics would quickly become a potentially criminal distribution of pornography. And while many states in America have
she's trying to draw a parallel. She's like, okay, you read all the ancient mythology and stuff. A lot of it's like metaphor. It's not meant to be taken literally. Usually it stands in for something else a lot of the time. And she's like, well, if somebody wrote a story about fucking their horse in the modern day, you guys would be disgusted. But you're over here reading this classic literature like a bunch of perverts. Look what you're doing to your children. So why can't Frank fuck his horse? Why can't he do it?
Why? These are the questions we want to know. Come on, vegan lady.
Strictly enforced laws against as much as photographing a child posed with an animal in even a remotely suggestive manner. Kids in America's farmland can participate in wholesome after-school programs with lessons in boar semen management and how to sexually stimulate a pig.
That's not bestiality, lady. Okay,
no.
That's called farming.
Well, she's probably going to go.
I mean, we'll see. I guess if she, I don't know, cleans that up a little bit. No pun intended. But like, fucking, I mean, come on. What are we even talking about here? They tried to draw a parallel between fucking animals and artificial insemination that farmers do. Like, oh, people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Prophet of the chat. He says, yeah, bud. Is that Chinaman Paul?
No.
He's been outed. It is Chinaman Paul. There you go. See? Look at him. Look at him.
Oh, my God.
Look at him.
Prophet, I love you.
I caught you in 720p.
Attempt to evaluate these examples objectively, which the subject matter admittedly makes challenging, if not impossible. The division between the educational and the immoral or criminal becomes largely a matter of cultural context, which begs the question, what exactly is so bad about bestiality?
Criminologist I thought it was bestiality.
I mean, she can't even get it. She's too turned on. She's too horny.
Inconsistent.
She's got a case of the hornies, dude. She's talking about the stuff, getting all confused in her head. All hot
words.
Ooh, shit. Welcome to Nightcap, everybody.
And points to the Mosaic commandments as the earliest and most influential justification for censures of bestiality, with the prescribed penalty of death. Remnants of this moral origin are...
This moral origin cannot stand, okay? They say in the Bible, you're not allowed to fuck animals. Penalty of death. So, just saying, and we're progressive society. We can't be signing on to things that are in the Bible.
No way.
Not in current year. I won't have it. I won't stand for it, and neither will vegan lady.
Set us straight.
Evidenced in the language of some of today's secular legislation, with several states in America, for example, retaining terminology such as crime against nature, unnatural, perverted, abominable, detestable, and my favorite, buggery.
Well, all of I like that word. That's my favorite too. That word bubble too. But all those words, Sean, I'm saying pretty accurate. But my lines could still be blurred. I don't know.
Yeah, these are all perfectly fine descriptors for what the for bestiality. Prophet says bestiality. Is she talking about dog fart?
No.
Oh shit, dogs. Do you mean Dog Fart Studios? I remember scrolling through, watching porn and just being like, dog fart, really? When you just haven't degraded yourself enough. Well, who do you work for? Dog fart. Yeah, I did a funnel cum scene. Dog fart.
Or do you think they get like all industry lingo with it? Like, DF Productions.
Yeah.
Or I'm in the industry.
Astoundingly enough, bestiality remained punishable by death throughout the early modern period, with Sweden executing up to 700 people between 1635 and 1778, along with the animals involved, and the last known hanging for bestiality
They're
in
like, we got to make sure this evil is purged.
Like the bastion of death metal, Sweden. Like that checks out. That story checks out.
Prophet says funnel cum scene. I almost just spit out my 151. Well, I'm glad you didn't, because that would have been a waste.
He'd have to slurp it up.
Yeah,
like
the
lady.
He is. Yeah,
sorry,
just
sorry,
like
cross the streams.
just like the lady with the funnel and the cum. She had to slurp it up too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she wanted to get paid.
Yeah.
United States, carried out by order of the Connecticut Superior Court in January of 1800. Given its pre-biblical censure, it may be surprising to hear that many countries still lack any laws addressing sexual contact between humans and animals. In 2015, Denmark was the last Northern European country to ban bestiality, leaving Finland, Romania, and Hungary as the only holdouts in the European Union. In the United States, bestiality remains legal in at least 8 states and Washington, D.C., with about...
What?
Vermont!
Vermont. Washington, D.C. I mean, with those degenerate politicians, they got to go,
Yeah.
And they're kidnapping kids and doing...
it's to facilitate all the, foreign dignitaries that come over. I mean, you can get Tony Blair coming over here to D.C. How can it be illegal? And it's not accommodating to the rich and powerful.
You don't want to be impolite, right?
No, you wouldn't. Vegas checks out. Colorado, what's going on there?
Texas too, really?
You think they'd be a little square, a little more square.
You would think so,
Yeah. But I mean, we don't want to. Everyone shuts on Kentucky and West Virginia.
So let's just leave them alone.
Let's just leave them alone. But Vermont, not surprising.
Those people got secrets.
Those Ben and Jerry guys are up there in Vermont, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're
churning something, all right, buddy. Let me tell you something.
What are Ben and Jerry's practice in making sure that you get quality dairy?
Yeah, it's quality.
Maybe we
dairy.
Investigate. I don't know.
Maybe
she's going to tell us. Got
to get that cream. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
17 of the remaining 42 having only enacted legislation since 1999. Though technically Ohio's brand new legislation signed just last month still won't take effect until March of this year, and only included a ban on bestiality as a way to pass an unpopular bill. Yay, moral integrity. Of the states with
what? Okay, lady. Prophet says, you telling me I can't fuck this goat? What? No, you can.
America.
You can fuck this goat.
In Vermont.
You can fuck any goat you want, dude. All your goats, basically, that's a harem. That's a harem in your barn, dude.
Yeah.
Laws already enacted, penalties and sentencing range from a misdemeanor with no set minimum in Nebraska to a felony with imprisonment of no less than 7 years and up to 20 years in Rhode Island. The modern resurgence of legislation has revealed a shift in the conceptualization and legal classification of bestiality, from a crime against public morals to an act of animal cruelty, with California and Oregon even going so far as to call it sexual assault of an animal. Attorney Rebecca F. Wish of the Animal Legal and Historical Center proposes that this terminology may reflect these states' assessment that animals are incapable of consenting, essentially granting non-human animals victim status. With the extreme...
Well, I think that's fair. I don't think animals can they can be groomed, they can be kind of trained to do things, but they don't have that kind of capacity.
No.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'll refrain.
Prophet says all these goats are already bred. Cucked again. Shit, dude. Well, at least you got to watch. You know what I mean?
Variation from state to state, much less country to country, of not only the criminal classification of and penalty for bestiality, but also the very definition of what the act entails. We're once again left with the question of what precisely makes bestiality so objectionable. All bestiality...
I think she's already laid out a pretty good case.
I think, yeah.
5 minutes into this 20 minutes video, she's pretty much told us why it's wrong.
Yeah.
What's so bad about it, guys? Chill out.
Is she going to go back to the Greeks? Maybe she's going to go back to the Greeks. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, look at these old stories. Your kids read these stories. You all love animal fucking.
What nuanced perspective is she going to drop on us right now to help unblur these lines? I'm curious. The bold title like that. I mean, let's see what happens.
Legislation includes exceptions for accepted animal industry practices. So, by eliminating any permissible actions, we can hopefully hone in on the root wrong of bestiality. Why don't we start with the rather inadequate parameters of what was traditionally considered the legal benchmark for sexual violation? Penetration. This may appear to offer a clear-cut line in the sand.
I just want to get a screen cap. Penetration.
Right. So you're telling me that suburban mom with that jar of peanut butter, you know what I'm saying? She gets off the hook, huh?
She
She
good
gets
to
off the
go.
hook.
Oh,
I go to my
Oh,
timeshare in Vermont and fuck a goat, and all of a sudden now I'm going to jail. And peanut butter lady gets off.
She gets off scot-free. I'm telling you, it's misandrist. It's misandrist.
Until we consider the long list of farming practices, not to mention animal experimentation and fur harvesting methods involving penetration. So if penetration itself isn't the issue, what about harmful penetration? That can't be the issue either, as animal experimentation and fur harvesting and common farming practices involving penetration can and do cause harm. Animals in the fur industry are routinely killed via genital and anal electrocution, and we don't even have time to list.
All right, so we're going to say there's no question that there's a lot of abuse like in the industry. Okay, like we're going to get that, but is she going to really like equate to the same like so having a love sexual relationship with an animal is nowhere near as cruel as like what's already happened or what's common practice? Like where's she going with this?
Where's she going with this? She's trying to say like, well, it's not as bad as this. That seems like what she's saying.
No, it's just like, you really shouldn't like slap around your kid like that. Well, some other countries, they fucking kill them.
Yeah. You really shouldn't beat your wife. In Saudi Arabia, they cut their heads off though. So she's getting off easy.
No, after genital mutilation at age 12, and then they,
yeah, count your blessings, really. Who are you to complain? Prophet says, Jesus Christ, CMP needs to be in Nightcap more often.
Oh, thank you,
got
buddy.
A new fan.
Thank you, buddy.
All of the bizarre manners in which animal experimentation and various fields of research involves an infinite array of harmful and painful penetration. Even in the food industry, for example, the vast majority of farmed animals today are bred via artificial insemination. Cows in the dairy industry are repeatedly impregnated through AI in order to maintain the flow of milk for human consumption. Like us, they only produce milk for their babies, who are taken from their mothers immediately after birth. Females are kept as future milk producers, and males are either sent to a veal farm or shot. Aside from the psychological and emotional impact of having their babies taken time and again, the insemination process itself can be physically damaging, especially when considering that most inseminations are.
So I feel like the gist of this video is going to be the hypocrisy, because we have factory farming, animals are mistreated, so it's like there's a form of hypocrisy going on. No, these animals are as we're going to have a guy in the next documentary explain to us. These are spiritual beings, spiritual creatures, and they have every right to enjoy themselves, to eat food they want to eat, to enjoy their bodies.
Yeah. Now I appreciate her command so far and her delivery, like of these thoughts. She doesn't seem like she's going to be like so kooky to make a false equivalency, like to this, but still, like, where are you going? Like what you just said, like, this is hypocrisy. How could you care about animals when you allow this in the industry? And sure, there could be a lot of great conversations to be had about, responsibly getting your dairy and your poultry and everything like that. Yeah, too. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about harmful penetration of animals that cannot consent.
Well, you see, Paul, this is something that's been going on for the past 5 or 6 years, especially on the internet. Like, two things cannot be true at the same time. People don't understand that, two things can be bad at the same time, Like, all of these things could be bad. Like, there's not really a hypocrisy in saying one is bad and the other is also bad. Maybe she's going to get into the gradations, the variance.
Yeah. Well, she still got my attention. So.
performed by non-veterinarians. Since AI training involves practicing on live cows, some courses are held at slaughterhouses, though one UK vet advised that novice inseminators should not practice on cows unless they are to be slaughtered on the training day. Perhaps the objectionable element separating routine farming practices from bestiality is the deliberate use of force during penetration. For this, I turn to author Jim Mason's account of his time working in a turkey breeding facility as he describes standard industry practice. They put me to work first in the pit, grabbing and breaking hens. Breaking hens was hard, fast, dirty work. I had to reach into the chute, grab a hen by the legs, and hold her, ankles crossed, in one hand. Then, as I held her on the edge of the pit, I wiped my other hand over her rear, which pushed up her tail feathers and exposed her vent opening. The birds weighed 20 to 30 pounds, were terrified, and beat their wings and struggled in panic. With the hen thus broken, the inseminator stuck his thumb right under her vent and pushed, which opened the vent. Into this he inserted the semen tube. Then both men let go and the hen flopped away onto the house floor. 2 breakers did 10 hens a minute, or each breaker broke 5 hens a minute. 1 hen every 12 seconds. In the pig meat industry,
pretty efficient. Considering what they're doing, that's pretty efficient.
It hurt those hens even more, those turkeys even more, trying to do that without hanging them upside down. I mean, it's the same way you slaughter them, hang them upside down.
Yeah.
But, most community way to do it. But how is he supposed to do it?
I think they're saying that you shouldn't do this because it's unnatural.
Oh.
It's unnatural, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's a conversation. That's a conversation.
Prophet says, look, I see a lot of hog assholes. I've never wanted to fuck one. Prove it, buddy.
Your lines are still blurred, my man. Your lines are still blurred. You're actually in a state where, you could, if your lines become unblurred, this could be a game changer. Game changer, buddy. Let's see.
Prophet says, with the hen thus broken, free hardcore song title, boys. Honestly, that could be it. That's what Jack Murphy does. His girlfriend goes by the red hen. With the hen thus broken, I peed in her mouth. Total domination.
I got to do something with that.
Total domination.
Piglets are the product. So mother pigs, much like dairy cows, are subjected to a constant cycle of pregnancies. Even in the European Union, where tethering stalls in which pigs were chained in place were outlawed, artificial insemination is one of a number of built-in exceptions wherein pigs may be legally chained in place. So if forceful penetration of an animal's vagina, anus, or cloaca resulting in physical and or psychological harm and eliciting clear signs of distress is not what's objectionable, maybe it's when the action performed upon an animal is itself overtly sexual, not just the body parts involved. Take the following account.
She's like, you're all just a bunch of Puritans. You're a bunch of prudes.
Yeah.
Each boar had his own little perversion the man had to do to get the boar turned on. He might have had to hold the boar's penis in exactly the right way the boar liked, and he had to masturbate some of them in exactly the right way. There was one boar, he told me, who wanted to have his butthole played with. I have to stick my finger in his butt.
The boar told me. He indicated that he would really like a little anal stimulation.
Some just call that courtesy. So I don't know what she's on.
Yeah,
It sounds like someone's on a high horse here. Yeah. So.
He just really loves that, he told me. He's one of the best in the business. Without context, where would you place
this guy? Treatment? You get the treatment then.
This guy you're
bringing in that money.
These guys know how to make these boys come. Let me tell you what, best in the business.
Best.
They call him the hog master.
Place this on the line between the pornographic and permissible. Would your answer change if I told you that the passage was written by an internationally renowned and well-respected specialist in livestock handling and animal welfare? If so, what changed about the account itself? That excerpt comes from Dr. Temple Grandin's book.
Context is everything, right? So
yes.
That's kind of
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like looking at a little bit of a quote, I guess, I mean, they're just saying like, well, they do this in factory farming, dude. They jerk animals off. They stick their thumbs in their asses, or I'm sorry, their vents. I'm sorry. My bad. My apologies. So, yeah.
Animals in Translation, wherein she's described in the About section as a role model for hundreds of thousands of families and people. Grandin continues her tour of porcine breeding practices, describing how, unlike cows, female pigs have to be sexually excited in order to conceive. So workers must manually arouse them prior to insemination. Okay.
How the fuck do you get that job? What did you have to do in a past life?
Well, you just responded to Mike Rowe's email. You signed up for an internship. You got in that dirty job. So then, next thing you know.
Yeah, where's the Mike Rowe
next
dirty
thing you know,
job?
you're jerking off a board.
Where's the Mike Rowe's dirty jobs about sexually stimulating female pigs?
It probably got cut, and then they went to go bring it over to Facebook when he had it show on his Facebook, and then they're like, "No."
And that's when he got all. That's when he got all like conservative. He's like, "This is censorship."
Yeah,
he's trying to ruin my show.
Yeah, no, I am uncompromised.
If the highly individualized manual masturbation of male pigs to completion and sexual stimulation of females prior to the insertion of boar semen are acts openly recounted by a respected professor and role model to families, I fear our common sense assessment may be an exercise in futility, especially when we take into account semen collection methods for bulls. Namely,
I like how the music comes in and out. When she wants to be like make a real point, like fades out, and then when she gets back into a longer explanation, it comes back in very whimsical.
No, it's a great delivery so far in terms of how she's putting her ideas together. Either it means something, but if you are in the space, I guess, because these people make these, they know their audience, right? And so
of course.
And I think this is a good a well-produced video.
If you're doing if you're part of veganfood.org, you're obviously probably anti-factory farming and stuff. This is saying, oh, factory farming is evil,
or what you say earlier, pre-biblical norms or something.
Yeah.
If you're anti the Bible, then
I'm just
saying you should be for it, not just worshiping that cow. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, worshiping that cow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we're friends.
Prophet says, quote unquote, how did you get that job? You either have a felony or a veterinarian degree.
The use of an artificial vagina, electroejaculation, or transrectal massage. The first method often uses a teaser bowl, usually a specimen of low.
I use electroejaculation all the time. I don't know what the big deal is. It's my go-to. Nowadays, now that I'm a hardened pervert, I gotta be stimulated, dude. It's my fucking right.
Well, you have one of those dual threat ones, right? I mean, it gets your stimuli, and then it's also a vape pen. So you're just not gonna.
Yeah, when everybody wants to know what I'm doing, this is actually it's got a Bluetooth hooked to an electro thing in my ass.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Never came so hard.
Breeding value, who is restrained, sometimes painfully, via a ring through his nose, and functions as the mount for the donor bull, since the force can injure females. The most troubling technique, electroejaculation, involves inserting a probe into the bull's anus and delivering electric shocks to stimulate ejaculation. It's widely known to be painful and has been banned in some EU
his
countries.
Asshole over there, and
hey. It's a living, buddy.
Likes it. That's how Bubba likes it. And Bubba gets what he wants because every county fair, everyone's going for his seed. Everybody. See this cup? I drink it. I know drinking part of my morning routine, but it's about $1,000 an ounce. So I'm sorry. I just feel like that's what he's saying.
that's how he would rationalize it. Yeah, of course. Prof says being anti-factory farming is like Zubox being staunchly against pedophilia. Exactly. Very controversial take, but we do not support pedophilia on Zubox.
No, save the kids.
Gotta save them, dude.
Yet you can watch footage of electroejaculation on the Irish Farm Journal's YouTube channel, as well as across the platform. Find hundreds.
Damn Irish.
Can't trust these fucking nicks, dude.
Damn Irish.
They love showing people this. It's a sick culture over there.
Hey, laddie, come over here. See what the Irish doing tonight.
I remember reading Angela's Ashes as a child, and there's a whole section in the book about them having sex with sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the movie adaptation, they just were beaten off over a stone wall, looking at the sheep.
The sheep. Yeah, the book is a little more explicit.
Yeah, I tried rewatching that, but it was too depressing. Just wasn't feeling it.
Feeling it. No, I came here looking for
something to fall asleep to, and I just didn't want to cry. But I'm sorry. Back to the bull action.
The consumption. It took them all.
Of semen procurement and insemination videos, including how to sexually excite a female pig, a topic also covered in depth in the youth.
Well, I know what we're watching on Nightcap next time.
education resources of the pork checkoff program. In my video, Do Animals Want to Be Eaten?, I provide examples of the sexualized portrayal of animals in advertising, often seducing the would-be consumers of their carcass. Even mainstream television.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be ironic. It's supposed to be like funny.
Something, and that's the thing with these groups of people, right? Like humor is kind of like like sarcasm. Yeah, doesn't translate in some areas, especially in the area you live. Like this is like funny. That was the
it's like ironic. It's funny. Yeah. It's a joke. It's not there to sexually entice you. Maybe she's telling us, this is like she's telling us a little bit more about herself and how she feels about things.
But then again, we knew right from the get-go we were wrong about how to even pronounce or spell bestiality. So
what the fuck do we know, right?
I know.
Oh, we got Tarami in the chat. Tarami says, "Evening, Sean, Big Paul, chat." How's it going, Tarami, buddy?
Television shows feature footage that, were the context even slightly altered, could result in the network losing its license and inviting a wave of lawsuits. As a quick personal aside, I find the fact that YouTube's wide array of borderline bestiality videos remain unrestricted, even monetized, yet the video of one of my speeches remains age-restricted, despite its censure violating YouTube's own policies, just the slightest bit frustrating. I have to say, I think our comparative elimination evaluation has hit a dead end. The only element we've yet to assess is the intention and experience of the human committing the act. This is the determining factor in several state bestiality laws like Delaware's, which specifies the contact be for purposes of sexual gratification.
Sorry, buddy.
But if that's really the root of our objection to bestiality, then we've essentially gone full circle to the original moral basis for its censure. Despite
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying, like, if you're fucking animals for sexual gratification?
Okay, like, again, right, there's a whole conversation to be had about, fair and ethical industry practices.
Yeah,
right,
of course.
right. But again, like, these are tricks of the industry, if you will, to try to help sustain and and make things happen to sustain people. Sexual gratification or trying to that's not feeding your family. That's not like feeding yourself. That's not doing anything other than
your soul. What are you talking about?
Well, welcome to NIGHTCAP.
Yeah, right. Prophet says, I saw a bull in an auction in Kansas go for fucking $85,000. One bull, because genetics is everything. I took this the wrong way and brought up the complete wrong subject. Oh, of course you would.
The modern shift towards animal cruelty classification and establishment of animals as victims. How exactly does the intention of the person involved, or whether the act is part of their job description or carried out in a medical context, help the individual being violated? I would imagine that someone's job title would be of little comfort to the cow restrained and forcefully penetrated for her next round of heartbreak, and the enjoyment or lack thereof derived by the worker operating the anal probe wouldn't do much to dull the painful electric current shocking a bull's pelvic nerves. Such absurdities are the result of our arbitrary shifting of animals from property to family to victim to profit margin, depending on our needs. And as their roles shift, so too do the kinds of harm we may inflict upon them. In her response to philosopher Peter Singer's controversial book review essay, Heavy Petting, Dr. Karen Davis of United Poultry Concerns addresses this progressive...
They don't even hide it. They're like, yeah, this is funny, right?
I got to look that up and do a pseudo ASMR take on that.
Yeah,
that's going to be my next side project.
Commodification. Historically, animal agriculture has facilitated bestiality, not simply because of the proximity of farmed animals, but because controlling other creatures' bodies invites this extension of a license that has already been taken. In one of the unfortunately numerous cases of extreme sexual abuse of animals within the food industry that falls so far outside of the prescribed norms they lead to criminal charges, undercover footage and detailed notes from the investigators showed routine abuse at a pig breeding facility in Iowa, where thousands of mother pigs are kept in cramped gestation crates. Workers beat pregnant pigs with blunt metal objects, kicked them in the stomach and head, forced rods into their vaginas and anuses, and attacked lame and injured pigs with an electric prod, among other offenses. The video also
it was Friday.
This is like every frat initiation story like I ever heard of. So Since we're making comparisons, we're saying, well, this is a whole video about whataboutism. So
Prophet says, off topic, but tonight I got Sydney to say inshallah for $4.99 with super chat. Least expensive orgasm a woman has ever given me. Link forthcoming. Yeah, if you shoot me the link, we'll watch it. Do you know that's the person that started the whole Jack Murphy thing?
No, man.
See, Paul's a normie. He has no idea any of this stuff.
Well, this is a ride along. You should have prefixed that. No.
I should have. Well, you don't know about this Jack Murphy situation that's going on.
I know what you like. Your video that you posted with the terrible Titanic song.
She's the one that like asked him in a super chat, what's the deal with this cuck article, and that's what started his whole internet descent into darkness. Tarami says, am I getting her angle right? Since we're cruel to animals in other situations, what does it matter if they don't like us fucking them?
Tarami, that's what I'm trying to...
She's not saying that explicitly, but she's basically saying, look at the hypocrisy. And the only reason you can't fuck animals is because it has to do with like Puritan, biblical, sexual repression.
Yeah. Or what she like, patronizingly say like, oh, yay, moral support superiority or something like that earlier. So, I mean... Yeah. She's not a fan of the traditional norms that the country is accustomed to, which rules are based
she's vegan. She's vegan. You cannot trust these people. They make very specious arguments. Very specious.
Very.
Captured workers cutting off the tails and tearing out the testicles of piglets, including some with scrotal hernias whose intestines would fully protrude when snipped, all without any anesthetic. And in one of the most cited offenses by the media, workers were shown slamming sick or deformed piglets against the ground, leaving them, according to investigators, to die slowly, their skulls crushed, paddling their legs and twitching, gasping for air as others were piled on top.
If you wanted to do a video just about the evils of factory farming, which I'm sure there's a bunch on this this channel, you could have just done that. I mean, like couching it and using it as a way to talk about like bestiality or bestiality being illegal just seems kind of like, because the bestiality thing is just like secondary. It's an afterthought to the video. The point of the video is just to talk about these inhumane practices, right?
So far it's where it's leading, unless she's going to tie it all up at the end.
The last like 30 seconds. So why shouldn't you be able to fuck your dog?
Yeah.
Here's my good friend Toby, the golden retriever. We've spent many nights together, keeping each other warm on these cold Vermont nights during the winter. Tarami says this is the equivalent of those organ pictures on a tobacco packaging. Kind of.
Top of them in giant bins. An article on NBC News included comments from none other than Temple Grandin, described as a leading animal welfare expert, who said that while those are standard industry practices, the treatment of the sows on the video was far from it, calling it atrocious animal abuse. Just to clarify, in case it wasn't obvious, beating and violating the mother pigs was the atrocious animal abuse. The standard industry practices Grandin refers to are the unanesthetized mutilation of newborn piglets and brutal slamming of defective babies against the concrete. Not only are these practices legal, they are government-sanctioned methods within, but not limited to, the United States, Canada, and the European Union.
Citation needed. I think she's got it though, right? Prophet says, also, as a man who has killed many pigs with fetal piglets inside, Prophet would know. He's a butcher. This is not how it works. Lying, something or other. Lying, see you next Tuesday.
See, that's the great thing about standard practices. I don't know about you, but if I was shown that video and asked what was abuse and what was routine, I'd have gotten it totally wrong. When it comes to our relationships with
I love the dramatic pauses, though.
A remarkable.
Yeah, the music drops out.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make her point. Got to come in with that strong line.
Yep.
Prophet's losing it, dude. He's saying fucking
level of cognitive dissonance,
You're spiraling.
Complete with ample blind spots. One need only observe how we designate individuals as friend or food by such arbitrary factors as geographical location or possession of a human given name. In one country, a dog is viewed as a pet, even a family member. Yet born in a different part of the world, the very same dog would be viewed as dinner. Nothing about the dog herself has changed. only her geographical location, and more importantly, the perception of her role and value by the humans deciding her fate. Such subjective
Trami says, if you ask me, I totally agree with myself. Thanks, lady.
shifting of assigned worth is the very basis of anthropocentrism, a belief system that regards humans as separate and superior to nature and holds that human life has intrinsic value, while other entities, including...
Whoa.
It's called being on top of the food chain.
Get with the program. Mega Paul, Big Paul says, I don't believe false prophets. Oh my God. He's like in two places at once.
Animals, plants, and so on are resources that may justifiably be exploited for the benefit of humankind. Our anthropocentric worldview explains many bizarre displays of human doublethink. An example...
What the fuck
else?
What
we
other...
had some 1984 bombs.
But
okay.
What else? What other perspective are you supposed to have as a human being? You're not like, yes, like you said, like it's the food chain. We're higher on the food chain.
Yeah.
We don't prioritize, I mean, maybe unfairly to a certain degree, the welfare of animals. Or we pick and choose which ones that we want to care about and domesticate, and ones that we use for shocking in the ass. So they come hard. Prophet says, best part about me and my cat, and we both know we eat each other if we had to, and we are cool with that. That's what's gonna happen. Prophet's gonna have a fucking heart attack in the barn. He's gonna fall dead. His cat's gonna eat his ass.
It gets chilly in Vermont.
I covered in my speech The Best We Have to Offer, which concerns legislative issues pertaining to animal cruelty, was when the European Union signed the Treaty of Lisbon, recognizing non-human animals as legally sentient, deserving freedom from hunger, thirst, discomfort, pain, injury, disease, fear, distress, and mental suffering, and then used this very recognition of their capacity to feel the same emotions and sensations as we do to design the exact manner in which humans may legally violate, imprison, cut, burn, alter, and murder them. A preliminary report for the new legislation compared the financial cost of gassing versus grinding alive the estimated 335 million unwanted day-old male chicks born into the EU egg industry every year, finding live grinding or maceration to be far more cost-effective. It was codified as the method of choice in the resulting groundbreaking animal protection legislation. In her article...
This lady is an anti-natalist. I can tell you that right now. Anti-natalist.
Yeah. So like, all this livestock can outbreed and roam the earth, but don't you have another kid? Don't you have any kids?
Don't you do it. Don't do it. They're going to be farting and killing us.
Pets or meat, Professor of Law Mary Ann Case highlights the complications arising from the condemnation of bestiality on the grounds of incapacity to consent, citing how even the training of one's pet is a form of persuasion difficult to differentiate with reference to consent. Case concludes that if we think there should be more strict or rigorous legal controls on having one's pet trained to do what would violate the bestiality laws than on other stupid pet tricks, we should acknowledge straightforwardly that it is our attitude towards sex more than our concern for animal freedom of choice or animal welfare that motivates us.
So Trami asks, did she just extrapolate sentience to be covered by human rights? Yeah, basically, because that's their kind of end goal. I think that's their broad perspective, is that the animals have sentience, therefore they should be afforded the same rights that people are. I mean, that's a pretty standard, vegan animal rights activist argument.
From having the animal's interests at heart, it appears that, as Dr. Davis wrote, the primary mainstream objection to bestiality is that sex between humans and non-humans, regardless of the circumstances in which it occurs, including rape, is an offense to our status and dignity as human beings. That's the power of human perception, that our violation of their bodies is an affront to our dignity. Davis describes how, in regards to bestiality, some animal advocates advanced the argument that non-human animals are not in a position to give informed consent by virtue of their presumed inherent intellectual inferiority to humans.
Presumed?
Even in their supposed defense, we insult them. This is why...
They're going to be real pissed off. Be like, you call me a dummy.
That dumb sheep. You sheeple.
But I've seen Babe. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Even Babe says that the sheep
Even
are
in
stupid.
Animal House, right? They got superiority marks. No one gets out of this alive. No one gets out of this not being inferior to somebody else.
Well, yeah, exactly. And, just like Animal Farm, if you start giving these animals like control rights, they're just going to become just as evil as people, and then they're going to be factory farming each other.
And who was the worst animal in Animal Farm?
The pig.
It was the goddamn pigs, wasn't it?
The hogs, dude. Tarami says, sure, the cows can have Social Security. They'll just have to sign the dotted line. Make your mark, cow. Make your mark.
In Rethinking Bestiality, one of the few essays focusing on the issue of bestiality from an animal rights standpoint, criminologist Piers Barron calls for a concept of interspecies sexual assault, independent of moral outrage, empty allusions to victim status, and lack of consent through idiocy. Referencing Carol J.
So, right off the bat, we know this guy's legit because he got the spelling correct, right?
That's true.
Right off that, so like towards the concept of interspecies sexual, like this isn't satire. Like this is crazy.
No, they just want to make it secular. Like they just want to take away the idea of like the Christian moral argument for why you don't like why it's immoral to have sex with animals, because a lot of it, right, in the Bible is probably couched in procreation,
right?
Just in the same way why the Bible is against like homosexuality and stuff is because a lot of it's tied to.
Right, but it's just right down there in that second line, shrine in the dogma of Judeo-Christianity. It's just like speaking to her eyes again. She's like fanning up, like what she already wants, this confirmation bias that she's going to find. That's linked to a university and everything, and all these this plethora of other links I have to back up all this bullshit.
Well, there's lots of crazy people in academia that write crazy things. I mean, it just seems like it's an extra step. It's an unnecessary one, so they can feel better about having this opinion. They can't just be like, well, okay, we took different roads, but we got to the same place. I guess not. They got to take God out of everything. Prophet says, who is the worst animal on Animal Farm? Liberians. How dare you? How dare you?
Adams, Barron lays the foundation for a truly victim-centered approach to the sexual assault of animals. In seeking to replace anthropocentrism with an acknowledgement of the sentience of animals, we must start with the fact that in almost every situation, humans and animals exist in a relation of potential or actual coercion. For genuine consent to sexual relations to be present, both participants...
We get it. Like, you guys fucking don't like human beings.
Yeah.
I understand. They just want to take everything away about, like, the way we operate in society is based on what is best, I guess broadly, for human beings.
So that's reading that citation right. That's from 1983.
Oh, they've been around for a while, dude.
1983. So
you got to
just read out loud. For genuine consent to sexual relations to be present, somewhat to modify boxes 83 original formulation, both participants must be conscious, fully informed, and positive in their desires. You don't get that looking at Fido. You don't get that with you just don't. How?
Well,
they get this published and they just back it up and like, okay, here it goes. You're just not enlightened.
Well, that's why the whole what's his name, James Lindsay and Peter Boghossian and Helen Pluckrose, they did all those fake papers that tried to get them submitted by one of them was the heteropatriarchy and rape in the dog park, talking about how dogs raped each other and how this was indicative of some the patriarchy and yeah. Insane. But they publish these things you got to go all the way back, I guess, in the more recent times. I'm sure it goes further back in other disciplines, but you got to find the Fabian Society, and you got to find environmentalism, Margaret Sanger, and eugenics, and all that kind of stuff. It's all that's what these people are all about. This kind of stuff. That's where these ideas became popularized or were proliferated. And there was a time in the 1920s and 1930s where this stuff was becoming mainstreamed. And it kind of parallels the development of Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. It's all kind of coming from these same concepts. So this stuff's been around for a while.
Participants must be conscious, fully informed, and positive in their desires. Bestiality involves sexual coercion because animals are incapable of genuinely saying yes or no to humans in a form that we can readily understand. If we cannot know that animals consent to our sexual overtures, then we are as much at fault when we tolerate interspecies sexual relations as when we fail to condemn adults who have sexual relations with.
Yeah, see, this is actually, Tromley brings up a good point. He says that it's like that antinatalist video about the seals raping each other. Yes, some guy made like a short film about like the violence of nature, and seals apparently are very aggressive when they mate, like male seals are.
Oh yeah, they also kill. Yeah, they kill the young.
They kill their young.
Like lions will kill cubs that order to mate with the mom.
So that's why they were, you know, kind of using that to illustrate the idea that like nature itself is innately violent, therefore non-existence is preferable. Because if nothing existed, then these things wouldn't happen. But this was kind of, it's just like they're even saying we tolerate interspecies relations as when we fail to condemn adults who have sexual relations with infants or children or other moral patients. So they're trying to draw a line between the same thing. It's like, well, we shouldn't let these animals rape each other.
Yeah.
So we don't let people rape children who can't consent. How can animals even possibly consent? But doesn't this kind of go back to what she was saying about like, oh, it's like a negative thing to say that animals are too stupid to consent?
Yeah.
I mean, because that would be what they're talking about. Like if you're talking about animals raping each other, for lack of a better way to put it.
Well, in a lot of species, you know, that's how it gets done. In a lot of species, it's not wanted by both parties. Look into snakes. I looked into snakes recently, man, and they get freaky.
They get freaky. They don't take no for an answer. I can tell you that much.
No.
Infants or with children or with others who, for whatever reason, are unable to refuse participation. I hope this rather intensive analysis of bestiality gave you some food for thought.
It was not very intensive analysis of bestiality, dude.
Just because you said so.
Production time for this video and article, 183 hours.
Damn.
She will never get back.
Damn.
Prophet says chicken culture is based on rape. Imagine life without a frontal lobe.
Ooh,
yeah,
shit.
It's all about primal. It's all about survival at that point. There's no rationalization. There's no consideration of what you're actually doing. It's just about getting it done.
It's just like a lot of these people that have got to grow up in the luxury of the Western society. They have nothing to bitch about, and they make up problems. And they can't appreciate like where they've gone and how they become into existence, how they're able to function the way they are and have these great ideas is because of years of evolution with, you know, eating animals. So
and because you live in a culture that allows you to do that, like you know, like you said, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
But it's like all part of this like postmodern deconstructionist project. I mean, this is how far they'll take it. They try to strip people of their humanity and compare them to that of an animal.
Yeah, she very loosely tied in together. Bulk of it, I don't know. Hey, I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be interesting at least. So.
That's why she titled the video that is to get rubes like us who are just looking for some hot bestiality.
We were looking for that hot bull action.
Yeah, we were looking for
bull action.
And also we got factory farming bullshit. I was looking for some hot stuff.
Yeah.
Please share it around. I would like to thank my $50 and above patrons and my whole Nugget Army Patreon family for making it possible for me to conduct this research, deliver speeches all over the world.
Oh, great. I'm glad. To rooms of tens of people, I'm sure. So this bitesizevegan.org, they have 185K subscribers.
Nice.
Pretty good. This video has 661,000 views.
It's a well-produced video. She delivers that, but again, she wasn't speaking to us. That was not intense. That did not sway me to unblur these lines. I'm a little disappointed.
Hold on, you got to see this. Emily is rapidly moving from animal liberationist category to major modern philosopher category.
Oh yeah,
dude. Modern philosopher. Yeah, she's kind of top of the pile.
Relying on your eyes because I can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
They could make it a little bit bigger.
No. Just read to me, Sean.
This was the best 183-hour effort distilled into 21 minutes of trying to explain to the humans just how insane some of them are that I've seen.
You should go and reply back. Correction, bitch. Non-animal humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you did not pay attention to that hard 183 hours worth of work she put into that. She clarified that at the beginning. Go, Sean, go. Go, Sean, go.
Here we go. That's just stir some shit for me for a couple days.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Tarami says, "Fucking hell! Second time in 2 streams they've kept that bull action from us."
Oh, Tarami, so much bull action.
The bull action was incredible. It was incredible. All right. Well,
my God.
I guess we'll just hop into the main event.
Ooh. What you drinking there?
And I said, okay.
All right. You can still hear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm drinking. I got some Whistle Piggyback, the 100% rye, the 6 year. I've actually been nursing this bottle because I bought it before I got sick in November. So I've just had it around because I wasn't really drinking anything. So I still have some. It's very nice. I love that. I actually really like this stuff a lot.
Oh, me too, man. It's distilled in the beautiful state of Vermont, where we know what's legal.
We know people are fucking animals.
Maybe next Chapala Day we go. We go up further. We go up north. We ride north.
Yeah, we go up to Prophet's house. Be like, yo, show me that goat harem.
Yo,
Trauma
I heard you got some chickens. How
fitting to be drinking that. That's true.
That actually. I just watched the video and I didn't even make that connection. Nice, Tarami.
Oh, Tarami's good. I got my stable of guys.
Tarami, he's making that pig whistle. He's making that pig whistle. He knows what the pig likes.
So this is like a kind of a Zoobox staple. This video has been watched 2 times on this channel already. But it's one of those things like I really enjoy like making people watch or showing to them because it's a very rare instance where you get completely unfettered, honest, genuine access to the minds of people that are into bestiality, and they are shameless about it. There's no shame involved in it. They're just like here to tell their story. It's one of the craziest documentaries. I stumbled upon it like, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago. And yeah. Prophet says, no, Animal Passions Part 3. Part 3, buddy.
Hey.
We got fresh eyes.
Yeah, man. I've never seen it.
Oh, Prophet's seen it twice at least.
Well, hey. Well, Prophet, you guys have taken me down to the rabbit hole of the internet so many times, man. I'm just don't know anything about it, man. I'm pumped to get into it.
Yeah, I told Paul the other day. I sent him a message and said, "You better stop watching my channel. You're going to become an internet degenerate." Featuring CMP. Oh yeah, featuring CMP, baby. He's gonna see what this is all about. It is one of the funniest and most disturbing documentaries I've ever seen. Like the amount of quotable shit in this, Paul, is off the fucking charts. Like you could stop every 30 seconds and somebody said an all-timer quote.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it's crazy.
I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I'm a little nervous. I'm glad we had that primer. Got a couple nightcaps in.
Yeah.
Do a little neck crack.
All right, let's do it. The main event.
When was this made? I'm sorry.
Early 2000s. I think 2004.
2004.
Yeah.
Like straight, like locally produced, like some.
It's a BBC documentary.
It's BBC.
So it's people in the United States, but it was produced by the BBC.
Okay.
As far as I remember.
Only speaks to people who've broken one of society's ultimate taboos, the illegal practice of sexual contact with animals, a subject some people may find disturbing.
Me some bocce ball.
Oh yeah, Trami, you were going to want to go grab a drink for this one, buddy. You're going to want to get a drink. Sexual intercourse with animals is a criminal offense in most of the Western world. This film examines a subject which many find deeply disturbing.
Unless if you're a vegan lady.
Yeah. She's all about it.
Oh my gosh! Fire!
Slow down. Don't shake it. You'll spew it everywhere. There was never a day in my life when I was growing up and I said, okay, I think I'm going to go have sex with animals today. It started out when I was very small. I just had a deep connection with animals, all the pets that we had growing up and all.
Oh, the Prophet says a BBC documentary like Dog Fart.
You beat me to it. I was saying, but like I waited too long and God.
Oh, no. You got to go. Sometimes, especially when you're drinking, like your mind will take an extra cycle to like hit it. It happens to me all the time. And NIGHTCAP, like I have to be like, oh shit, let me rewind for a second so I can say this joke.
Yeah. I can't get over this hairdo though. I already know we're going to get gold out of this guy. We're like right off the bat, this guy is going to give us gold. Like you look at this, like Bonnie Tyler, like
it's like
up here, like it's good.
Yeah, it's like
I
early
need a hero.
90s, early
I need
90s
a hero,
MTV.
Sean, and I think this is it. I think this is it for the night.
I like the Bonnie Tyler. That's a good call. That's a good call. I always said he looked like Kato Kalin. The guy is like one of the VJs, early MTV VJs, I think.
I see.
I just felt deep feelings for them, and as I grew older and these feelings matured, it eventually moved on to sex. There was no decision made.
All right, so if we think about that freeze frame from the vegan video with the green states where it was, legal, which one of those states is Bonnie Tyler from?
I feel
if I were to guess,
this has got to be like Wyoming. Wyoming was one of those states. It looks like Wyoming. Especially once you get to see the farmland and stuff they have. Jeremy says, "Hey, what's up, Jeremy? He looks like Dan Aykroyd crossed with a Ramon." And Trami says, "Is this like the cuckoldry? Like bestiality didn't just happen. You had to really rationalize it to yourself." Exactly. You got to talk yourself into it.
Evidently.
You got to build up to these kind of degenerate things that are completely unnatural.
Well, like as what Bonnie Tyler said, like it just started off as emotions, and those emotions matured. These feelings turned into emotions, and they matured, and then I'm sure it's going to be something beautiful. So
I see animals as spiritual beings first, and because I see them as my spiritual equals, I don't have any issue with seeing that they have the same needs that I have, which is to eat, to enjoy their bodies. And to love and to be loved.
I've been
second's a little sus.
No, I love it. I love it. Enjoy their bodies.
So that's the segue, right? That's that light talk. Some might say like dog whistle, like enjoy their body. Like, well, yeah, who doesn't want to enjoy their body? But what did you mean? Well, where are we going with that?
Oh, we're gonna find out.
I enjoy my body.
And with humans, I love to be with both.
Hey. Who are we to judge?
This music though, just
5 years ago, I made a film about people who choose to have sex with animals. After it was shown, a number of zoophiles, as they like to be known, wanted to tell their stories.
Zoophiles.
Can't go by a group of horses without taking a real close look at them and wondering. A great many thoughts.
Yeah. There's a black one there with a big blaze and a couple white socks that she's nice.
BBC, and I'm not talking about the network.
Hello. Hello, pretty boy. Easy. Cool. Please do come.
Look how fucking excited they are. Dude, these guys are like pigs in shit.
They are. Lead any closer, that barbed wire is going to slit them open.
Yeah, that's why it's there to keep them at bay.
Calm down, boys. Calm down, boys.
Prophet comes in with a correction. Kato Kalin was not a fucking MTV VJ. He rose to fame as a witness in the OJ trial, I think, because he was renting a room from the Juice at the time of the murder. He was, but he also worked for MTV. Look it up. Cocksucker.
False prophets, man. There we go.
Visit.
There was a guy.
Hey, baby.
Baby.
Hello, pretty one.
Hello.
Wow. Now this is a rush.
See, did I tell you? Every 10, 30 seconds, you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. This is a rush. This is a fucking rush, boys. This is a special moment we're having between each other.
And this is like 2 minutes into this.
Yes. Dude, this is the whole thing. It never stops.
A piece of ecstasy. This is the most incredible turn on when I'm approached like this. It's the most incredible turn on. Ooh. This is a pretty girl here. She's an Arabian.
This is the first.
She's an Arabian, dude.
Imagine like if you just went to a gentleman's club, started talking like that, like, ooh, this is Arabian. Look at this Nubian over here. Oh my. Ooh, you get
they're like dudes at spring break looking at the beach. Like they're like, oh my god, look at that one. Where do you think she's from?
Look at that dog. Oh my god.
Shit. How's the volume? How's the volume? Is it a little low?
No, it's good.
It's good. It's good.
Any lower, it'd be turning me on.
No, I mean, do you want it to turned up?
No, I want to be turned on. That's why I'm with you on this
they've
journey.
Spoken openly about their secret desires.
If they found a field full of horses, it may be a while.
Oh, I know Ken. He searches the ponies for hours on end.
Just the acceptance.
They wanted to show.
They found horses.
Yeah.
Well,
this is
boys.
This lady right here is the wife of the Paul Bunyan dude.
Oh, okay.
This lady is Bonnie Tyler's girlfriend. Tarami says Arabian maidens, inshallah, brother.
Inshallah.
Jeremy says the black stallion. What a looker.
Tell me about
Prof says, God damn it, stop the fucking video. I can't take this big black fucking horse Coco again.
Prophet, yes you can. And
yes,
you will.
You can take it all. Dude.
A strange and often shocking sexual subculture. I was surprised to find these passions are not limited to lone individuals.
I wish I was as sexy as Amara is sometimes.
They included women, couples, and even animal relationships within families.
We can get it kind of juicy. It'll soak it up if we put it back in the fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the questions are, well, is it the same as with a man? Is it as good as with a man?
No, better.
Well, it depends.
We were talking about that sweet Arabian earlier. Yeah. I mean, how can you compete with that?
Yeah. I mean, we got competition here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this is why we got to stop these vegan people. We got to be pro-anthropomorphic, like pro-anthropomorph-centrism.
Yeah, man.
Because if we don't, then all our women are going to be fucking animals. Because apparently it's good.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
The dog depends on the man.
But on that same token, so will we. So I guess everyone wins.
We'll be living in a sweet, neutral paradise where everybody can just stick it.
Yeah.
Go down to the pet shop, be like,
All right, and see what goes on. See, we greenlight some states and see how it plays out. Do some case studies and
get
some academics there.
Yeah,
documenting the whole
Michael
thing.
Malice can be like the president of the state or whatever. And he could have his little anarchist craziness, and
yeah. He might even set up some ground rules just to be broken.
Just aren't as they don't like foreplay.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs love foreplay. They love to have a good time. They love to have sex.
I just thought, should I add some mushrooms to the salad too?
So I love that transition between the horses don't need foreplay, but dogs do, and then cut right to all right. So mushrooms, is that too many?
Because it's like a casual normal. I cannot believe how comfortable and how casual they talk about it. Like, right? Because
you know what's in the room with them right now. There's someone holding lighting. There's somebody with a boom mic. There's probably two camera guys. And they're just.
Yeah, well, there's definitely. I think there's at least two camera dudes, and there's probably the sound guy who's usually doubles as like the director, the producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but they're so like because they know that it's taboo. They know it's not something that is socially acceptable, and they're completely disarmed. These people must have been like very charming.
And this was the late '90s, I guess, when he started this project, right?
Yeah, well, early 2000s. Yeah.
Well, it came out in the early 2000s, right? But he said he was recording for 5 years in the beginning.
Well, no, he did a documentary 5 years before this one.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
About not about these people in particular, and then people reached out to him.
Right.
Because there's always cycles of this stuff. And you find the same thing with like pedophiles and stuff, where they try to integrate themselves into society and normalize things.
Mm-hmm.
And we're right now in the middle of a cycle with pedophiles, especially that they're trying to like get back into this concept of it being like a sexual orientation, and that they need to be part of like the LGBTQIA group.
Because it's all about groups, it's all about communities. It's just the branding. It's all about the brand, right?
It's all about branding. Yeah,
it's all about the brand.
Gonna do.
For most people, the idea of sex with animals is revolting. So I wanted to find out why people become zoophiles, and why this form of sexuality, above all others, remains taboo. I I started with the question, what exactly is zoophilia?
Zoophilia is one of the 40-odd paraphilias.
See, it's one of these guys, these ancient guys. Yeah, he likes to talk about, oh, well, in the past, we used to do this as well. I don't know if you're familiar with Leda and the Swan.
We give this very, very obscure freaking god from 3,000 years ago had this profound thing. It's very nuanced in today's culture. Why? I fucked your cat.
Yeah. I'm Egyptian. I'm Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
It means beyond the usual. And philia means love. These conditions used to be called the perversions. And on the street, they're called kinky sex.
See, I cannot stand this shit. They're just like, well, we used to call it perversions, but that's not cool.
That's not enlightened.
Sex now.
That's
now
not,
we call it kinky sex, dude. It's just kink.
Yeah,
it's just kink, bro.
Yeah, people got that. People get freaky. Who are? Yeah, I'm sure it's going to go back to judging. Who are you to judge?
Zoophilia is, according to the dictionary, is really love for animals. But usually people, when they talk about zoophilia, they talk about people who are in love or have an emotional connection with their animals, and they also have sex with their animals.
I gotta say, at least the people that were editing this seemed like they had a little bit of a sense of humor.
Yeah, like that, because that's great. That is chilling. That's like a chilling segue in there, and that Shining-esque thing going into the horse looking like terror, like that. I feel for you, buddy. I feel for you.
Trami says, and is widely known, Egyptians were really into cats. Prophet says, John Money is proof we fought for the wrong side.
I'll have to Google that later.
My first introduction to zoophilia came when I met Mark.
Friends riding with me used to drive them nutty. It's going along, and all of a sudden I'd back off the gas. I might even put on the brakes. Wow, look at her. And they snap their heads around. What? Where? Then they realize, oh, damn, it's a horse. Shouldn't say that unless it's some girl in a bikini.
He's had sexual relationships with animals for 40 years.
There's a horse up there on the right.
Can you tell if it's male or female?
A recent illness has left him.
He's like, honestly, I don't really care. Just fucking tuck it to the side and get down to business. That's what I say.
Well, I could tell you, because horses don't like foreplay. We know this. Get right in there and tell you real quick.
You just go. Go. It's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Partially blind.
Do you think they're like the bulls from like the last video, where they want a little anal stimuli too? Yeah. I guess not. If the horses go straight into it,
Well, we're gonna find out. We'll see. He's gonna talk about his relationships.
I guess.
Trump says a hole is a hole. Mine or your hole doesn't matter.
That's spoken like a guy who likes to party like a European.
Yeah.
He lives in a trailer home in the backwoods of Missouri. At the time I met Mark, sex with animals was not illegal in this state. And this allowed him to become the first zoophile to go public about his sexual preference.
Groundbreaking.
Mark shares his home with horses, dogs, donkeys, and Pixel.
I got a whole family circus of just fucking, man.
He's got a harem. He's got a whole harem of fucking sweet animal ass.
When I'm not pumping them with my essence, I do children's parties.
Yeah, I take my my Shetland pony here, Pixel, out to birthday parties. The kids ride him, and then I can bring her home, and then I ride her. Oh. Hey, you asked for this. You asked for this.
Oh, hey, I'm going to finish it. Don't even worry.
My territory, I get first shot at all the goodies. Pixel, looky here. Yeah.
Can you imagine like Eddie Murphy's voice just
Mark
coming out of talkie?
Pixel.
Hey, Honky, get out here and feed me.
Oh, you give me that goddamn apple, huh?
Give me that apple.
Yo, you give me 2 apples, maybe you get some ass, all right? 3 apples will suck your dick. I'll lick it like a salt lick, motherfucker. Bring those salty balls over here.
Bring it here, man. Bring it here. Bring it here.
God damn it, Shrek. All right, let's do it.
In an unofficial ceremony 7 years ago.
I love Pixel. She's gorgeous. My God, that's a beautiful little pony. She's sweet. She's loving. I'm very proud of her. And I like to be able to tell people how wonderful she is.
He was so proud of his relationship with Pixel.
He's like, that's my old boyfriend. He's a real piece of shit. That's why he's outside. That's why he's outside.
That's why you can see his ribcage.
Trami says, Rudy Ray Moore narrating.
God damn it, another guy got Google.
Rudy Ray Moore, actually Eddie Murphy starred as him in the biopic.
Okay.
My Name is Dolomite or whatever.
Okay.
That Netflix movie from a couple years ago. Prophet says, why the fuck can't I give this shit super chats? Because I got to get over 1,000 subs. That's why.
Oh.
We're on our way, boys. We're on our way. This is definitely going to net me lots of subs.
That he made the extraordinary and potentially dangerous decision to go public about their marriage. He agreed to appear on one of America's most notorious talk shows,
Springer?
Jerry Springer.
Yes! I called that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it really wasn't that hard for early 2000s because
well, for him it would have been before because he was like he's been out in the open for years because I think he was the subject of this guy's first documentary because he was like in Missouri where he lived. It wasn't illegal, so he was allowed to announce that he was a zoophile.
Gotcha.
Because for whatever reason you would want to announce that. That's just like, I don't know. Why would you care? Like, you know, what you do in the privacy of your own bedroom, you're not going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Or in your backyard or wherever, if your trailer park.
It's not like you're trying to go Dr. Phil there for a second, and then you just revert back to regular voice.
See about all the fights. Well, today we have a love story.
A Springer Show.
I love that.
Mark is what you might call
the king of trash TV. Truly.
In his crusade to be accepted, Mark agreed to appear on the Jerry Springer Show.
Meet the man who married his horse.
You are having intimate relations with a beast.
I would have totally watched this. If I saw this advertisement, I'd be like, where and when?
Where and when? I'm there.
Made for an answer.
I married a horse.
As soon as the audience saw what was coming up, you know, and welcome his wife, and here comes a pony. Well,
like he's reliving the magic. He's like hearing the cheers. It's like he's there again. The adulation. Best day of his fucking life, dude.
Best day.
It was in the fan then. They just went crazy. I loved it.
He loves it. I don't know.
Jerry, well, at one point he says, I think I'm going to vomit. If I'd been faster on my feet, I would have replied, hey, it's your show. Go ahead.
This is
good one.
Sick, isn't it?
Yeah. Just like years of reflection afterwards, that's still the best he can come up with. We all had those moments where, like, I wish I said this. I wish
every
I did
time,
that, right?
Every time the boys come over and he shows them this tape, like, let's watch the tape. Let's watch the tape. He says that same anecdote. He's like, man, if I was quicker on my feet, I said, go for it, buddy. Go for it. I'm gonna fuck this pony.
Hey.
Hey.
America never got to see Mark. The show was pulled, judged too controversial even for Springer.
What?
No way.
Are you serious? Like, you can have all sorts of crazy shit. People like fucking their fathers and in relationships with their aunts and getting pregnant by their brothers. But hey, man, the guy
draw
marries
the
a
line
horse.
at My Little Pony being violated, or the thought of that, right? Oh, jeez.
Pretty anthrocentric. That's what it is.
But yeah, I
It's
got to practice
bigotry.
that in the mirror a couple times myself.
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is.
In Mark's hometown, rumors and jokes soon spread.
No.
In West Virginia, this is a true law. I'm not making this up. Down south in West Virginia, it's legal to have sex with an animal if it doesn't exceed 40 pounds. I see dogs just going, give me some more. Give me some more! More people in this! I weigh 38 pounds, he's got a heart on!
It's like a Kinnison ripoff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But that's like 40 pounds. Like, why?
Well, you don't want to hurt yourself, Paul. It's really they're looking out for you. A horse could do some real damage.
No, it just like you think about like what goes into procedural, what's going to make law, the rationale. Like, just think about there, like that smoky courtroom. What's a reasonable weight for an animal to be sexually violated? I say about 40 pounds. Okay, the beautiful state of West Virginia says 40 pounds is the threshold. Move
That's
on.
it. God damn it.
Well,
like it can get pretty messy, dude. Like there's actually there is a documentary, like a film documentary called The Zoo, and it's about these dirty perverts in upstate New York that would have like a farm, and they would go there and fuck animals, and they got caught by like the FBI, like with like millions of photos and all sorts of weird shit. But the reason they got caught is because the guy died because he was getting butt fucked by a stallion, and the stallion's dick pulled his guts out, and he died. Therefore, 40 pounds. That's what it's got to be, dude.
That is disgusting.
Be careful, Sandy. This is Pixel's territory. I've paid a price for this lifestyle. I've had to face up to some friends that just couldn't handle it and say, okay, well, I hate to lose you as a friend, but I understand. I'm sure that I see my children much more often than I do. They claim they're okay with it, and I think they are, but they don't really want to talk about it. Don't like to be reminded of it too much.
Like actual children, or like one of those creepy people that says they're like puppies are their children.
No, he has actual children, and
fuck.
he doesn't. He said when you come over to my house, you pay respects to the wife. You don't ignore Pixel. You don't just act like she doesn't exist, like she's not there. Insulting.
You have to
give her an
acknowledge.
apple.
Yeah.
Give her an apple, Terry. No, Dad, I don't want to. Give her a fucking apple, Terry.
Give her the apple. If I gotta tell you again, your dinner's over. You're done.
She's gonna start yelling at me like fucking Eddie Murphy if you don't give her that fucking apple. She calls me Shrek.
They understand it's a part of me.
Mark continues to promote a positive image of zoophilia.
Oh, Red Dog's coming up this way.
Yeah.
He spends hours each day on the internet talking to other zoophiles from around the world.
Is that the trucker that stopped here a couple months ago?
Here they can communicate without fear of their identity being given away.
The internet, I think, has been...
All right, look at this. Okay, so this is their chat. This is their chat. So he's talking about the guy named Big Red, who is a trucker that stops by.
Okay.
Yeah, so the internet was a mistake, guys. All right, man.
No, it really was.
It really was, because it allowed people like this to connect and proliferate, and they set up meetups, and they're fucking dogs.
I just can't stop reading it. Hey, you want to role play real quick, man? You want to read this out?
Sure,
I'll be RD, you be C?
I'll be C. You be
or
RD.
do you want to be C?
You
You want to
be RD.
Rochambeau for it?
Go ahead. You're the guest. BRD.
Oh, thank you, man. This is an honor. This truly is. Hey, did you get my email a while back?
I don't remember it, guy.
Oh, well, I was just letting you know. I'll be going up that way on the 17th.
All the way here, or just to LR's place.
And was planning on stopping by for a while. If it's all right with you and Hussy.
Mark says no problem.
Great. I'll have LRs most of the time, but want to swing by there as well. I'll be picking up my little big pup. Winky face. I need a drink after that, man. Oh, man.
A major
I told you
importance
I'll watch this, man.
in the forming of anything that could be described as a zoo community. Before that, contact with other zoos was extremely difficult.
I am naming him Marmaduke. The gallows humor, like it's so dark. It's so dark. You can't help but just like laugh. It's so uncomfortable.
Like, is there like a slight bit of like awareness too? Are they just like
No,
going
well,
full
I think there is an awareness that what they're doing is like, for lack of a better way to put it, it's like it's degenerate, and they know that, and they relish it. They revel in the fact that what they're doing is perverted. I am naming him Marmaduke. Like,
Yeah.
Are you sick fuck?
Yeah, there's this like Australian comedian. He does this bit. I forget his name. The big atheist dude. Where he's just saying like
Jim
the wor-
Jeffries?
Yeah, Jeffries. Yeah, he was doing that whole bit of like, if you're a pig fucker, as you were, like, and the whole thing is like now because of the internet, you're part of a community instead of being a piece of shit. It's a great bit. I botched the paraphrase, but like that's
No, but
just looking at this like IRC, from the early 2000s, just like, oh god,
this is from 1998.
Oh shit. Yeah, right up there. There's a timestamp.
Yeah, I think he's used footage from his first documentary in this documentary.
Your best friend could be boffing the beef on the side, and you'd never know he was a zoo unless he told you.
That's
another
thing.
Most people with some type of hidden passion, right? You never know. Most people, they looked like a regular guy until you found out they had people in their basement.
But again, that's the whole thing. It's about normalizing it. It's like normal people do this.
Yeah.
You never know, dude. Who knows?
Yeah.
Your buddy could be a fucking zoophile. He could be fucking his dog. Fucking Marmaduke, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Zodiac killer, just a regular guy on the streets, man.
Just a regular guy.
Just a regular guy.
Look at the power.
I'm surprised to find that no one has a clear idea of how many zoophiles there are. The only published data was by sexologist Alfred Kinsey. His survey in the 1950s only looked at bestiality, one-off sexual acts with animals. He reported that perhaps as many as 1 in 3 boys in rural areas had experimented with animals. But his research has since been discredited.
Well, like
To
most
get
of his
more
research
accurate
back then, because sample size and then unverified data collection sample, but like it's
Or like
but it's kind of like with the vegan thing too. Just like we're going to name drop some old dead famous people and like all this stuff. So it's I should give it its credit. I should let it play out and not jump to conclusions here. But
well, that's the whole thing with Kinsey. It's like you said, like the sample size for everything Kinsey did was like very small.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I had sex with a dude. That must mean all men.
Well, and self-reported.
Exactly. Yes. They're going off just like people coming in, they put out an ad in like a town or wherever they were, where they were doing research. And people like weirdos would come in and be like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking
Here's
do that
instructions
shit.
on how to measure your dick, both flaccid and erected. Do so. Then everyone right back, fucking 8.5, sucker. Circumference.
Circumference is a Coke can down there.
Yeah.
The Institute for the Advanced Study of Human Sexuality in San Francisco conducted a survey of over 100 zoophiles.
I love the music. I love like the Native American whistles. Because this is very spiritual, Paul.
It is spiritual.
It's not just like this is not just some sort of degenerate act. Okay, this is about the soul. The soul yearns for what the soul wants, my friend.
Native music for the land about animals that are not indigenous of that land.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition here is so rich with just demented. I'm just taking it in, Sean. I'm here for the ride.
I wrote the book. Was a dog come for the soul. Like chicken soup for the soul.
Well, that's a labor of effort because, as I said at the beginning of this, dogs need foreplay.
They do. You got to put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
Prophet says, "God fucking bless."
People in my study, some of them, not all of them, but some of them see their relationships with animals as very unique. They really love their animals. Some of them,
yeah, because they have like mental illness.
Yeah. So, do they only interview like sexologists, wherever the hell they come, or do they actually interview like any psychologist moving forward? I don't think that's going to spoil anything for me.
I don't think that. I think maybe at the end there's like a psychologist that gets into like the pathology of like why people do this stuff, but yeah, it's obviously
we didn't get to see Jerry Springer's breakdown. Remember at the end of every show he had this whole breakdown. He gave it as
the last word.
His last word as a psychologist. Here's what you need to do. Blah blah. So we didn't get that from Jerry because it got axed, right? So do we get any like objective, like someone from like in a trade, some element of sanity, like speaking about this, or is it all these like sexologist people
that are like trying to be like very understanding?
I get the idea of being empathetic. I get the idea of, wanting to see where someone's come from, to understand, to help engage in dialogue, to bring somebody back to reality, to do that. So being gentle around the topic
Of
and
course,
not
yeah.
pushing anybody away. Like, I get that. But do they do anything with it? Or is it just going to be this, like, this primer, man?
Prophet says, Paul, Sister Maria Filomena says hello.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he fucks her hogs.
Oh, yeah, I bet he does.
Them treat the animals as a spouse, as a significant other. When I asked them to list down what is their marital...
Like, she sounds like a Bond villain.
It's something nefarious is going on.
Vaguely right? European accent.
Mm-hmm. Like, she sounds like she's about to describe something horrible that just happened. My village was destroyed.
What do you see? It's Mr.
My mother.
Bond. You see it, Mr. Bond. The goat, he came to me, and I fucked it. He's my husband, Mr. Bond. That's where I put the nuclear codes. Will you fuck this goat, Mr. Bond, to save the country?
For the world, Mr. Bond. For the world.
Put down that they're married to their animal.
I wondered if there was a common factor that could explain all this. Some psychologists believe that events in early childhood determine our sexual development.
Everybody has a love map, and it's very easy for them to go wrong. What makes one boy or one girl's love map develop so as to end up being zoophilic instead of just ordinary? Nobody knows. However, if I try to reconstruct it in the case of a zoophile, that in early infancy, this person was extremely deprived of tactile stimulation, which babies really need. And I've heard that story particularly from a woman paraphile who was kept locked away a lot of the time in the basement. And she was sexually molested by her uncle. She had been born of incest herself, and that was kept strictly undercover. And the only consolation she had in life was this little dog, and she would put it between her legs. And when she got fully grown, she liked it much better than her husband's form of sex. So you have a poignant story of how somebody could easily be switched along the path of...
Yeah, it's called you're being traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking for something to provide you comfort, and your brain gets rewired. I mean, this happens to a lot of people that grow up with, I guess, deviant, aberrant behaviors. Usually a lot of it's, from when you're a kid. Well, although I suppose like the reason why he's like dancing around it, probably especially at the time, is because this would have been the Born This Way campaign. Would have been around this time, looking for the gay gene.
Right, but it just, you're not born that way. Terrible things happen to people, and terrible like habits form from that.
Yeah.
And it just, and the way he's like recanting this terrible story that he's heard.
Nobody knows.
Trauma. It just like, nobody knows, and she likes it better than her. Like it's some like, no, she doesn't know what she needs help. She's like working through something,
Yes.
So like, who knows what kind of triggers she's having that's make her get that comfort that she had when it's hairy, man. That is fucked up. That is terrible, and I just don't like the way he recanted that. And it makes me feel very, very uncomfortable.
Well, because I mean, he's got clinical distance, I suppose you could say.
Not in that jovial.
If I want to be, if I want to be charitable,
when he just recanted that, like, and she liked it better than her husband's.
So what does that mean, guys?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that means there's something to it. That means there's something to it.
Nobody knows.
Look at this Egyptian shit I have in the back. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at this. Very mysterious.
You see this lapel I have? You see this? You see this pin? I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
I'm a smart guy.
Look at
got
this
double
tie.
Windsor knot on this tie here. And listen to me. There's nothing wrong with the animals enjoying their bodies, and you enjoying those animals enjoying their bodies. Think about the little girl with the puppy. Dude, I don't know. I'm going to finish. I will finish this. I would. I would have stopped. I would have stopped this.
No, you wouldn't have. You fucking liar.
No, I'm being honest. I would have stopped this.
You would have stopped it. You wouldn't have made it all the way through, just out of morbid curiosity.
No, I'm a man of my word, John. I said I'd finish this, but if I was on my own, I would not be watching this anymore.
Well, if we're still, if we get to the end of this, we can watch a video about a German guy who's married to his dog.
Oh boy.
Of zoophilia. And incidentally, nobody would ever lived next door to that lady and guess that she otherwise passed as a normal mother and housewife.
They love saying that. They love saying it's like you would never guess. You would never know.
Right.
You would never know.
Just normal, like.
Prophet wants to know, Sean, can you eat a mango for 13 minutes while we ponder this? I want to start all nightcaps now just eating something for 13 minutes. We watched a video about why white men like black bulls to fuck their wives, the cuckolds.
Oh.
And it was like this black lady, and she eats a mango for 13 minutes before she starts talking about the subject at hand. It's just 13 minutes of her talking about how good this mango is. It was wild. It's the perfect microcosm of Nightcap because we never know what we're going to get into. And the whole time I'm like, is she still eating this melon? I'm like skipping ahead. I'm like, how could she still be eating this fucking melon? But anyways. He was so normal.
But not all zoophiles have been abused as children. For Mark, his interest began with simple adolescent curiosity.
The first time I even had an inkling of sexual attraction or the idea of an animal as a sex object, 16 years old, a good friend of mine and I had been riding a little pony cart around near his grandparents' farm. And at the end of the ride, to take proper care of the equipment and the pony, he handed me a brush and a comb and told me to wipe the horse down, comb her and brush her. And I got around toward the back end of that little pony, and she had her tail up in the air. And something just went
his eye twitch in my mind. Live in that moment.
Oh yeah,
he's probably like sparking up a chub right now too.
Dude, this guy is hard as a rock. Yeah. Pixel's gonna get it good later. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
He's got 4 apples for that bitch.
We'll get brushed down and dick down.
Girl pussy, pony pussy, pussy.
Yeah. Keep saying it, man. Keep saying it.
Just keep saying it so you convince yourself.
Yeah.
Well, now you know where that's from. I might have said that to you before. I've been saying that to people for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get it now. I get it. It's a much richer reference now. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Pony pussy. Pony pussy.
Human pussy. Pussy.
Looked around real quick.
Looked around, see if anybody's looking.
Mama Duke around.
Touched it.
Whoa. Whoa.
The music score, the music for this is great, by the way.
I know whoever was the producer on this, whoever were the editors, must have been having a blast. Like, what else are you supposed to do? You have to acknowledge, in a meta sense, the inherent
ridiculousness of this,
ridiculous,
this
odd nature of it. Yeah.
Ugh. Trying to do all the right stuff, ask girls out to the right movies, and of course, well, they were busy. Maybe try to get them to go out and eat a burger and shake or something like that. Well, they're busy, but, ask me again sometime. And sometime never came. So when I actually went out and had intercourse with that pony mare, I didn't feel that I was being weird. I felt that I was being superior. It sounds horrible. It's
because it is horrible. It is horrible. You can't get a date for a milkshake and a cheeseburger, so you fuck a pony. It makes you feel superior. There's a lot to break down here. There's a lot.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to put out. You got to put out. Like,
so do ponies? They're not just little horses, right? It's kind of a different species. Maybe this is a question for Prophet, but like,
well, they're like smaller horses.
They need, but do they get straight to the business too? Because if so, then maybe that's why he doesn't look. So
we saw that they need to be at least plied with apples. We know that.
Well, that was his bottom bitch horse that we saw there. It's like years of commitment and putting.
Well, that's his wife. Yeah, it's his wife. That's the wife.
Right.
Take care of the wife. Yeah,
that's the wifey treatment. But I'm talking about his superiority complex, where he's like, oh, I got turned down. Like, you just go right in for it. Because I don't know if ponies. I don't know much about it, but I heard a long time ago that they are meaner than horses. So I just wonder how that went down.
He tamed the beast.
If he was
like
quicker at the moment,
he's a horse whisperer. He's a horse whisperer, dude. He just knows.
Yeah, it's just something.
It's a spiritual connection.
personality flaw and so forth. But yeah, I thought I was being superior. Yeah, I outsmarted the system.
In a way,
the system, dude.
Like in a way, right? It's just like, like who's worth the crown, eye of the beholder, right? If this is the norms, like I'm striking out here, or am I striking out? Because everyone's trying to get these hot dates on these, milkshake and cheeseburger dates, apparently, because they're showing that like 50-esque like footage, right? But nobody's after these little ponies. I got cream of the crop. I am slaying. I am killing it. I am crushing it. So in a way, he did beat the system. If you change the operating system completely.
I mean, back in the day when he was a kid, what is a bushel of apples? Like $2? How much is a burger and shake? Like 5 or 6 for both of you?
Oh man, he probably had an apple. He probably didn't have to pay for shit. Probably have to
pay for
shit.
The barn.
And now you're saving on gas from driving down there, getting the milkshake.
It's a way to feel appreciated. Because
vegan lady would be all about it too, because now they're not partaking in the beef, right? Now they're not eating a cheeseburger, so she'd be all about this.
Well, somebody's taking some beef. I can tell you that much.
But
he
outgained the system.
He feels good because like all he has to do for the pony is show up. If you meet one of these anthropomorphic women,
show out, man.
One of these women folk, you gotta fucking take them out. You gotta talk to them. With a pony, you give them a little bit of a brush down. You get out of business.
Brush that down. You gotta brush that down.
Prophet says, in reference to your question, no comment.
I
don't know.
He does.
I don't know.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know.
As soon as he gets that super chat figured out, he'll comment. Oh, he'll comment. It'll come.
I got even with all the girls. Who needs them?
At the end of this video,
great. Yeah, this was so good that sex with a woman would probably kill me.
It would probably kill me because it's so fucking lame.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, none of these ponies are lame.
Yeah, it would be lame. You know why, buddy? You know why? Because you got to put in effort and some consideration and do a bunch of other stuff lead up to it that you can't with My Little Pony. I mean, you just brush. You don't have to worry about, not being spicy. You don't have to worry about, making sure, everything's taken care of. There's all kinds of groundwork that you don't have to do with this. So I guess it goes back to like he did game the system. He just changed the outcome,
He's like, he gets to tell the pony all of his weird political opinions, and the pony doesn't look at him twice. The pony doesn't be like, well, that's a little weird, man. Why are you saying that? You don't have to explain yourself. The pony just accepts.
They just accept.
Accept your voice, your heart, your soul, your seed. It's all about acceptance.
All about that.
Isaiah said, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." And so we are living in a day when people want to call evil.
See, like this, the vegan lady would be freaking out right now. She's like, is that a preacher? Is he quoting the Bible? Why is he quoting the Bible? Why does he have to do that?
Because it's put over a frame of a train coming right at you. So just relax, sister. Just relax. Just relax. We got it. Think about
good and good evil. When man has turned a deaf ear from hearing what God says in His Word.
Doing train chicken.
Oh Lord Jesus, I pray God this morning that you would just create a new heart in us today, Lord.
Mark grew up in the Bible Belt. His father was a preacher, and his upbringing came strictly from the Old Testament.
Father, I thank you for the blood of Jesus today, hallelujah, that cleanses us and that washes us clean and whole so that we might be
God, I wish I could feel something this intense just once in my life.
Well, you never bought into it though. You have to.
No, that's what I'm saying. I wish I could. I wish there's a small part of me that wishes I could just like let it go and just like embrace it. Because
you can. You just got to train. You got to do it. Yeah.
You got to be groomed. You got to be groomed like this, like Pixel.
Right, but you didn't go up in this version or whatever that is. You went up the old Catholic, old crazy way. So you don't get any of that. You don't get any of that.
You don't get any of this.
Broken
You're
knees.
supposed to. It's all about stoicism. It's all about shut up and
penance.
Presentable and ready to appear before the glorious God. Amen.
Leviticus 20:15-16. If a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach any beast and lie down thereto, Thou shalt kill the woman and the
Bestiality is a sin that goes
But
back.
why does the beast guy
way in
get
the
killed? You know
Bible.
what I mean? They didn't
Well,
do
yeah,
anything. They just took it, you know?
Didn't do anything wrong.
Why?
Are they implying that the beast had the power to seduce?
Yeah, no, the beast wanted it.
Is this a shared sin?
A bull's going to do bull things, you know?
Is this a shared sin? It's not a shared sin. I think the sin kind of
No,
goes
it's
one
not.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe this beast needs to be rehabilitated.
I don't know, but where we say the Old Testament was crazy. You know what I mean? let's keep
Who
going.
amongst us?
Who
You
am I?
know?
Who am I?
Goes back to the Old Testament passages of Deuteronomy and Leviticus and some like that. And
I first read it as Weasley, but Vesey, Reverend John Vesey. So
it's from the Old Testament. You know, some dumb bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Don't do it. Do not do it.
No, but you look like one of those piglets that they would like smash immediately because it looked deformed. And it's not going to make it there.
This guy looks like a little bit. He looks kind of intense.
Mm-hmm.
He looks kind of intense. There's this
because
old.
he didn't get the business. He didn't get the business post birth. So you know that's what they grew up to be. That's why they smash them there. That's why you have standard practice.
Exactly. You know, from the outside looking in, outside of context, in a vacuum, it looks bad, right? But
do you think he has that Leviticus section like bookmarked right behind him?
Probably because they're pros. These people are pros.
You don't fuck that animal. You don't fuck that animal.
It's like he's trying to convince
I
himself.
fuck that animal. Horse pussy, human pussy, horse pussy,
pussy.
Oh god,
pussy.
Yeah.
whether that was going on at that time, we're not sure, but at least in the foreknowledge of God and the wisdom of God.
Actually, that's a good point. That he's saying like, oh, we didn't know. We don't know if they were doing that at the time, and that's why, you know, it had to be written down in the word to deter people from doing it. You have to assume that people were fucking animals, dude. That vegan lady was right. You know?
Well, everyone's right in a certain point. We just talked about that guy, you know, actually gaining the system. At the end of the day, he was the winner in his world, right? If you look at your desired outcome, the pursuit of happiness, you know, what makes you happy? What do you desire? Who's winning? Sean, who's winning? You know, think about it.
That's true. Yeah. Jeremobi says this guy looks like someone from the 90s news screen Instagram handle. Actually, he does. Yeah, that like 90s news screen capture Instagram. Travis says, you know, the producer called this guy and asked if he could include bestiality into the Sunday sermon, and his congregation is going to be asking themselves, okay, who here fucked a donkey? That's true. He's going to put a lot of weird ideas in everybody's head. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we covering Deuteronomy?
Knowing what man could do and what he could be capable of. God really condemns bestiality in the scripture and the word of God. In fact, the penalty for that was death.
Everything in the Old Testament was death.
That's true. It's kind of a brutal time, you know? Like, did you steal something? Cut your hand off.
Death.
You know?
Death. Looked at your neighbor's wife? Death. You worship that cow? You fuck that cow? Death. Death, 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 death.
Pre-Christian pagan cultures were openly fascinated with sexuality in all its forms.
Well, thank God we evolved past that, huh?
You know?
They're just like, hey, man, you know, people used to do this. It's not that weird.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy too? Like, I'm sure people thought things were funny too back then as well. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna make this guy.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Like people back in the day obviously still had like what we would consider like the troll's heart, right? What if they're just people like back then be like writing like this is like your dirty doodles when you're a kid and you think it's funny, you show your friend, like, yo, check this out. This guy just fucking smeared shit on a wall, and now it's there forever. Because it was in a cave somewhere, preserved by happenstance, and people are like, "Wow!"
You get all these overeducated people reading into it, you know?
Yeah, that was Todd. You know, that was just Todd fucking around. The fuck? We were smoking peyote. We were telling funny stories. And he told me about this fucking deer thing, and I was making fun of him. I drew it on there. I said, "That you, buddy? Look, it's."
Well, the joke was Zog always fucks donkey, so we wrote Zog. Painted Zog on wall, fucking donkey.
And often worshipped the image of animals. They saw less distinction between human and animal.
Getting back to the
They
Greeks.
believed in hybrid.
Wait, yeah, but did they see a less of a distinction, or were they just hedonistic? I would suggest that they're
The
just
latter.
hedonistic.
I was just the latter too, but the freaky deaky Greeks, man.
Well, but a lot of Greek and late Roman culture was just, well, at least in terms of what we know, because it wasn't everybody. It was like the rich people. The rich people were complete degenerates.
Yeah.
Fucking little boys, fucking whatever this is.
No, because it's like when you have it all, Sean, what do you do? What do you do?
I know. And that's maybe where we've cycled around to it. Like we find ourselves in the same paradigm.
Yeah.
Like with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and all that kind of stuff being brought up again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe they figured it out. Or maybe back to like My Little Pony dude, man, where he figured out he didn't have to be rich and powerful yet. He's like, I got nothing. But you know how I get everything? I changed the dynamic.
I gamed the system, dude.
I
beat
gamed that system.
The system.
See, this is doing more to clear the blurred lines than Vegan Lady so far. That guy and his like little short, like I gamed the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a stronger point because at least he was honest, right? He's not gloating about, I'm sorry.
Just him and RD and Marmaduke and Pixel, just like really just telling us how it is.
Marmaduke, yeah, baby.
Like this isn't just for elites now. This is for everybody.
This is for everybody.
This is for the
just look
common man.
I look like any other guy. See, it's for everybody.
RD, he looks like my uncle.
Yeah.
Creatures, the offspring of interspecies sex. Here, half man, half goat.
Yo, check this picture out.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
All this changed with the arrival of Christianity.
But again,
The
great
new
music to
religion
throw right back
that
into
to
it.
be
though.
human was not to be animal. Man must conquer his base animal instincts to rise.
Is that a bad thing? Jesus Christ. Trami says the commodification of pony fucking. I know.
Is closer to his god. Satan was often shown as a beast. At first, offenders were not punished, but during the Middle Ages, bestiality was considered as evil as homosexuality and sex with demons. By the 1500s, the offense so challenged the accepted order of man and...
This reminds me of that meme, that one with James Franco, your first time?
Yeah.
From the Coen Brothers movie.
See, he's hanging upside down. If you need so much damn foreplay, we wouldn't have gotten caught.
Yeah, these dogs are like, yo, dude, what the fuck, man?
Really?
What the fuck, man? Why you bring us into this bullshit?
Just why? Why?
Punished by death. Maybe this explains why we still demand severe penalties, with up to a 2-year prison sentence in the UK. But this does not deter individuals or even couples with families.
This does not just deter any pervert. No matter what their status in life is if they want to be a pervert, they will be a pervert.
Yeah. Like we heard from the other pervert.
Oh, now you like that other guy, you can kind of like, it's almost like easier to accept that guy, the weird guy in the trailer, you're like, okay, you seem like a weird fucking guy. Like you seem like a sicko. But some of these other people, you're like, what's going on? Some of these people are like married to each other and they do it together. It's like, oh boy, here we go.
Speaking of which, we haven't seen Bonnie Tyler in a minute.
Oh, Bonnie Tyler's coming back. Oh, trust me. They're going to make their glorious return right about now.
Can't wait.
Come on.
Well, first we got to deal with Paul Bunyan.
Michael has brought the family dog to visit Laurie, his wife.
I got the peanut butter in the back, baby.
Laurie and Michael are now separated, but for 25 years...
Oh, I wonder why. So this is her like her beau, and he's like bringing the dog that she's in love with to visit. It's like a weird custody thing, which is much darker than Mark and Pixel.
Yeah, man.
Much weirder, much more degenerate. Don't worry, Paul. Stay well. Welcome to Nightcap, everybody.
They shared their lives with 2 children and various animals.
Say hello.
It's been 3 months since Laurie has seen her lover, Baby Golden.
Kisses and hugs. You are such a
When they broke up, they decided the dog should stay with Michael.
To watch our golden retriever and her interact is just awesome because, I mean, he just adores her and she loves him, and it's really cool. It's just really neat.
Look how
I want
fucking
Caesar
look how
Milan. I want Caesar Milan to bust right in here and just beat the fuck out of all these people.
But
That
look
would
how
be like the
dude,
best
he's
thing ever.
This dude is so turned on. This guy, the Paul Bunyan guy, is low key the biggest perv because he's getting turned on by everything. Even this golden retriever that his wife has sex with, just seeing them together is very powerful.
Because I know what
Miss
goes on.
my baby. Oh.
Laurie and Michael were both
Like
sexually
a weird circus music or whatever it is. It's like Funhouse Mirrors music.
Yeah.
Yeah, to disorientate you. You're like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. Are these people really talking about fucking their dogs? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is happening? I'm liking looking at your face. This is a man who's being traumatized in real time.
Man, I would have stopped this a long time ago on my own. Man.
He's a liar. This is lies.
active with animals when they married. With the arrival of children, they agreed to give up their animal passions.
Oh, you know,
But
that's
after
so
2 years,
thoughtful of them. You
It's
know,
pretty magnanimous
That's so
of them.
thoughtful. Like, you know, let's
Yeah.
try to start like somewhat of a perceived Judeo-Christian stable upbringing and not fuck our family dog in front of the kids. Let's give that up for a little bit for the children.
Paul
for the
Bunyan
children.
he was just dying for these kids to grow up and get the fuck out of the house. I gotta get back to business. This has been the longest 18 years of my life.
Again, I want Caesar Milan to come out here and just beat the fuck out of these people.
No.
That'd be so great.
No.
That'd be so great. No.
No.
Shh, no. You do not fuck that dog. No.
Oh,
No.
oh.
When I said pack leader, I did not mean this. Shh, no.
Michael found this too difficult.
Oh, there it is. Too hard for him.
When you wake up in the middle of the night and your husband's not there, the barn is
Right by
rather
the
close to
fire.
the house, for no reason, okay, why is he out there? And a wife usually knows.
A wife knows.
A wife knows.
A wife knows.
She knows. He knows. But you know who doesn't know? The animal that's about to get fucking molested. Unless they do. I mean, I wonder at some point do these horses, do they get like oh, he's coming here. All right, it's going to last
Well, I
like
guess
a whopping 5 minutes.
It's conditioning. They get conditioned, right? Because they got like
So
peanuts for
disgusting.
brains. They get conditioned into thinking it's normal, probably even liking it to a certain extent. They probably even present themselves in a way.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware that my wife was aware that I had reestablished my intimate relationship with my mare.
And she felt this betrayal really deeply. Prophet says, average European man, 55 BCE. Caesar has crossed the Rhine. I must bring my women and children south to offer up some kind of defense for the glory of my tribe. Average man in 2005. Do I fuck this horse? Tromby says, when you wake up in the middle of the night, your husband is on a business trip and you're really horny and you just have to fuck your mare, and you can't help that. Can't help it.
The
Can't be
body
helped.
wants what the body wants. I mean, they're enjoying their body. I'm enjoying their body.
It was just, I was trying at that time to be true to myself and the loved ones in my life. And sometimes juggling those things is no small task.
It was a very difficult situation. It's like, fine, you want to be with her, then be with her. So I would get resentful and remove myself out of the triangle.
And Paul Bunyan would come to me and said, grow the fuck up. Grow up. This is who we are. This is what we do.
Think of it as a triangle, hon. Think of it as a wobbly H. Let's spice this marriage up. Let's stay for the children.
Oh, have you seen this before?
Huh? Well, she was at the beginning talking about like doing this stuff.
Yeah, no, she does it too. I mean, she does it too. Like that's the whole thing. It's just like they decided, like when they had kids, like, oh, we're gonna put it on pause. Like, what's the and as it goes on, I think they get into it in this. It seems like she was kind of more like pushed into it in terms of like she's like very submissive. Like this was like his thing, and then she was able to bring herself there to please her husband in a certain, and then it becomes your own predilection.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No,
I mean, who hasn't?
No, it's
who
like
hasn't gaslit their partner into fucking an animal?
It's like that thing we watched a long time ago with like the swingers. You could just tell that like she was just trying to make her husband happy, and she just kind of like went along with it, and like you could tell wasn't into it.
Yes,
but on the extreme, other species side, yeah.
I mean,
cheers,
that's good.
buddy.
Let's take exactly. Welcome to NIGHTCAP. Like it's just like, oh God. I mean, I don't know.
Because of the sexual tension and the secrecy, I wanted him to tell me. And so he started to pour all this out of the pain that he had gone through. And, it became very honest. He told me about all the relationships. He really, for the first time, expressed how deeply he felt and how much his love was for horses.
Michael and Laurie agreed to bring back Michael's mares into their relationship.
What was interesting, though, and this is because of how we can be in our relationships, we can be very possessive. And a real loving relationship is not about possessing another living soul. And she says, well, I got to come out and watch. And I went, oh. And I discovered...
He said double fun. Double fun. Oh, do you?
I've discovered that...
remember that gig we did at that swingers party? Where he's like, hey, you want to watch me get fucked by this Samoan?
Dude, I actually told that story, I think on Monday night.
Oh, yeah?
I did a thing about cucks and bulls. And and like one of the videos was about like people that set up swinger parties.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, that night we went to that swingers party.
Oh man. I got the best gigs, man.
I know you did. You really did. The Gold Bar, is that what it was? The Gold Bar? The hotel bar? Prophet says, it's always his thing. How many cuckold stories begin with the man wanting to lap nut? The woman reflects her husband, and if Satan is your daddy...
Yep. True.
Well, that's true. A lot of the times with those things, it's always the husband that like really pushes it.
Right.
For the most part.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure not
mostly, yeah.
It's like, what is it? Most of the time, but not all.
Right.
But it seems like that seems to be a trend where you find like submissive women that will just like do it because like their modus operandi is to just please their husband regardless. Some people are like that.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I'd like to find me one of those. You know what I mean?
I found one of those.
You know what I'm saying? I can't even get a sandwich around here. God damn.
The worst.
With the proper people, I'm not ashamed of that also. I was a bit intimidated because knowing how emotional my wife can be about some things, I thought, oh gosh, if she loses it during this can get ugly. But
notice how he slipped in there. I'm comfortable around the proper people. So he's into exhibitionism. Mm-hmm. He's probably done this in front of his other dudes.
Yeah.
Other mare fuckers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's sex ed at the end of the day, right? So if you get in that space, right, you're like, well, this is how you properly do it. This is how you enjoy your body, enjoying the whole mare's body. This is how it's done. Here's how you can do it. And then hopefully that's the guy that died.
Right. Well, they call it they're going to bring it up later. It's called right height, no bucket.
Oh, great. We get technical in this too. Awesome.
We get tech tips. Yeah. Tech tips. Prophet says not all, but most, which is a Jesse Lee Petersonism. Not all dog fuckers.
But the neat thing was she came out and watched, and it was another opportunity to bring us all closer.
We didn't have to go on a fancy retreat for the weekend. She just came out to the bar and watched me fuck this horse, and then I've never been so much more attracted to her in my life. Oh my God.
A beautiful thing happened. We really came together. We really felt like we were part of something together, a union.
I haven't felt the spark since we saw our first child born. It was just that deep and compassionate.
Yeah. I never seen a pussy blown this wide open.
Horse
since
pussy.
then.
Horse pussy, human pussy. Oh, yeah.
Pussy.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. She says, well, can't have any other women. And I'm going, well, I don't have an issue with that because women can make awesome friends. I enjoy speaking and visiting with women. But overall, you stand a pretty woman and a pretty mare, we'll take the mare.
Okay.
I shared him with...
He's like, it's cool. Hey, listen, it's cool if it's just a horse. It's cool if it's a horse.
Yeah, you fuck a horse, whatever. That's your own prerogative, but don't get with another bitch. And I tell you, I'm sure in that area, I'm sure he's a catch. I'm sure he's a catch.
Oh, look at him!
So.
Yeah, he's a Paul Bunyan type. Those eyebrows. That's like that's the thing.
I'm sure it's probably why the horses like him too, man. Like it looks like a provider, Sean. He looks like a provider. He looks like someone that could maybe satisfy a horse with the proper people in place and facilitating it, of course.
Yeah, of course, and the proper audience and the right circumstances, and probably some dark web, red room, and a webcam. Yeah. He's ready to go. Absolutely. He's ready to go. He's ready to find love. Trami says, "quote unquote," I have many women friends. I don't have a problem with women.
Yeah.
3 other
I
horses.
think you do.
There were times where I could accept it. There were times when I resented it because I wanted him there for me.
Over here. Laurie felt their relationship.
Imagine being cucked by a horse.
It's just like any shred of respect, for yourself, right? This is the father of my children over there, just plowing this horse. This is what I got to compete with. This I am in this predicament. I am in this place where he would rather go busting in a horse than spend. Wow. Well, maybe if you weren't such a bitch, Karen. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Can you imagine her? She's it's 4 a.m. She's down in the kitchen. She's made some tea. She's sitting in the living room. It's all dark. Maybe smoking a Newport. Yeah, he comes in. Where you been? Where you been, Dave?
Dude, it's like a Maverick 100 thing. Menthol flavor. Right? They're not doing a Newport in that region there, buddy. You know what's going on. You know that type.
Trami says, talk about bringing a bull into the relationship. Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Not continue. She insisted they separate while they work it out.
Smart.
There may come a time where we could all live together, but he does miss the inside companionship, having somebody to cook dinner now and then, take a shower with, have a massage. There are certain things that an animal...
Yeah, there's certain things a horse can't do. They don't have thumbs.
Yeah.
They're all hooves, those things.
They can't cook. They can't have a conversation with you. You can try. You can try to, pack on the beautiful till you're the size of a horse, and then maybe you keep packing on more beautiful,
All these horse
it might be,
and dogs,
it might be
they
a
won't
chapter
cook me
2.
nothing.
There might be another part 2 here, but we'll see. Until then, you got to live in this life in between spaces here.
Yeah. He wants it all. This guy wants it all, dude. Paul Bunyan wants it all. I need to have the mare. I need to have the dog. I gotta have the wife.
Oh God.
I need a sandwich when I come in. I'm tired after I come in. While a bunch of 50 dudes on the internet watch me fucking dick down this horse. I'm tired. I need a nosh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need a ham sandwich.
Oh my God.
Animal relationship can't provide.
And the music. Animal passions.
Yeah.
Oh no. A grave.
Zoophiles are not alone in their love for animals. Many pet owners have such intense relationships that when their pets die, they grieve as if they've lost a loved one.
Well, that's
the idea of
the only normal thing I fucking heard in this entire thing so far.
Well, it's just like you can make a connection with an animal, obviously, right? Like you can provide each other comfort in some respect. Some people take it a little farther,
Yeah.
Any sexual contact would horrify them. It would be as unnatural as having sex with a child.
Now, we can love children very deeply, and yet that love is not shown in any sexual desire for the children. We all love our own children very much, and they're very, very few.
Wait, what is he the author of?
Over the line.
This whiskey's catching up.
Hold on.
Of any sexual contact would horrify them. It would be as unnatural as having sex with a child.
Now, we can love children very deeply, and yet that love is not shown in any.
Author of Dogs Never Lie About Love. So he's talking about just like people that have connections with animals, not sexual connections.
Right.
And they're drawing the parallel about like how you would love a child unconditionally with your whole heart and being. But you would never want to have sex with it.
Right.
Because
that would hurt you. That
and
would hurt them. That would cause pain.
And if a doctor didn't write a book about it, how would we know?
How would we know? Because we're not doing that, that Bible thing. Oh, Christ, no.
Trami says platonic love. That's right. That's the word.
Yeah. What?
That's the term.
Yeah. That's the term for us there, buddy.
Look at the big brain on Tarami. Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Try to come in here, flex the comments. Fucking smarty pants.
Sexual desire for the child.
Trami, if you were a human, if you were a horse, I'd be fucking right now, man. You watch it, man. You watch that.
You watch it, buddy. You're lucky you're not a mare. You're lucky you're not a beautiful mare.
We're on D-Live. We're on D-Live right now. I'd be throwing so many lemons at you, Tarami. What the fuck, man? Try to come at me with that shit.
Apples. I'd be like, suck on that. Suck on that.
Yeah.
Love our own children very much, and there are very, very few humans who cross over the line and attempt to have sex with their children. But it is interesting that the adults who do, who are almost invariably male, always claim that the child initiated the sexuality. I find that very interesting in terms of humans who claim that the animals are initiating the sexuality. I think that's an excuse. I think it's
exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's a rationalization. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? They approached me. They fucking sniffed my nuts. This dog was sniffing my nuts, dude.
Yeah.
You wanted it. Trami says, I'm not a horse, but I'm fucking one right now.
The form of denial. I don't think it's real.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, doctor.
Tell me, Mark, how do we know that?
Oh, thank God a doctor laid it out for us. Like, no, I don't. I think that maybe that's a weird rationalization. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, hey, at least we got somebody that they interviewed, right, to say, yeah, no. Other than that, like the creepy Bible guy,
or the creepy Bible guy, or the British sexologist who've been like, yes, well, some people prefer the love of their child more than others, and this is not common, but it is something that happens.
Indeed.
Just like the ancient Egyptians. Have you heard about Leda and the Swan?
Have you?
You're not forcing sex on your animals, and that they're actually giving consent.
Consent is one of the slippery issues among discussions between zoophiles and non-zoophiles.
Yeah, how do you think a Marmaduke feels? This new dog that this guy was trucking up to Missouri. He's gonna pick up the big pup. How do you think Marmaduke felt when he was ambushed by you fucking weird perverts? Do you think Marmaduke even had a chance to consent? Did you ask Marmaduke? Did you give him a bone? No pun intended.
Was this a consent right here? Yeah, I'm letting you know.
Look, it's kissing me, dude.
No. So there it goes. Answer my question from earlier. Yeah, into the foreplay. Got it.
Yeah. Look, I put this treat in my mouth and it kisses me.
If I ever decide to get frisky, then I'll go.
That's what you got to start doing, Paul. You got to start putting apples and Oreos in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Send them a running. Really,
I live in an equestrian wonderland, man. I got plenty of opportunities out here. This was my thing.
And I'm not saying that it is, but if I wanted
not saying it is, the lines that
yeah, if something has awoken in me from seeing like-minded people, I'm just saying.
What a great frame to freeze on. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's love.
It's just the
love.
best. It's just the best.
Who are we to judge?
Take Pixel, for example. She's not tied up. She could walk away. She could run away. She could kick the living...
But she don't.
But Jesus out of me. She could bite. Horses are not defenseless. The friends of mine with dogs, well, not dogs. You ever try to do something to a dog really didn't like? At least the dog that has all its teeth.
I think the problem...
That's his argument. That's his argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you groom them. Like dogs and animals are primal creatures.
Mm-hmm.
They're not conceptualize sexuality in the same way that anthrocentric people
do. And a lot of the animal kingdom they look at is dominance. What are you doing? Like we say, remember with the rabbits we raised, right? It had nothing to do with sexuality. They were crazy and dominant.
Yeah.
They do that. There's no like spiritual awakening there. There's nothing. That's just what.
Well, it's not emotions in the way that we understand emotions. It's not love. It's about like continuing your species. It's a primal base level thing. And people have that in them. We have that primal thing. That's why, like, you know, if you're a man, there's certain identifiers in woman, like big breasts, like a nice ass, like childbearing hips, like these are things that like, yeah, that's what we kind of innately are attracted to. Animals,
but
we tie it up with emotions though, because we tie it up with relationships.
No, they tie it up with their own bullshit, projected onto them to make it rationalize it for the entryway, to grease the skids there. But nothing animal emoting is coming in any form of consent, any stretch of the imagination.
Not in the way that we conceive it. No, they are fucked because it's not in the way that we conceptualize it, and they know that. Come on. The Fritzl defense. The door was open, but they didn't leave.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, listen.
Well, they didn't say no.
They didn't
say stop. Their eyes said yes.
These kids that we kept in a basement never tried to escape.
Did you see what they were wearing? You don't wear
here
like that.
Is that we are
You
talking
see those reins? That pony is loved.
About
pussy.
Domestic species. And the very definition of a domestic species is that they are under our control. So my problem with zoophilia is that it is a one-way street. It is not the animal who is choosing to have a sexual relationship with us. It is we who are imposing a sexual relationship upon the animal.
Imposing is such a light way of putting it.
There is no doubt that they are into the moment if one understands how horses react. I mean, sex is pretty straightforward, folks.
This guy is the guy.
I don't want to see this guy anymore.
Oh, this is the coup de grace. This is my favorite part. This is like we're coming up on my favorite line from this dude.
Here we go, buddy. Here we go.
Member A goes into slot B. At that moment of orgasm, for lack of a better word, the two souls actually merge and touch, albeit for a brief instant. And it's humbling. And yet it's so intense, it's rejuvenating.
Like listen to how delusional this dude is.
Yeah.
He thinks he's having a spiritual connection with his horse when he fucking busts a nut. He busts a nut. And he's trying to like extrapolate basically and draw a parallel between the experience where you're having like hot and heavy and like very intimate sex with a woman.
Right.
Where you do feel that connection. You feel that deeper thing. When everybody, you're coming, she's coming, everyone's coming at the same time, the coming and the sucking. Like, so he's trying to like draw that parallel, being like, well, it's really beautiful. It's humbling. It's powerful.
No.
Something there.
No, it's like this bestiality guru's like speech, it's his opus. It's the best way he can articulate this experience that he's having. And it's probably the best way he articulated anything. He probably described that just now better than the birth of his first child. Like this is like the amount of joy that came out of his face, the convincing, disgusting passion that just oozed out of his body and just went up my spine, and it's making me drink like my fourth glass during this like 40-minute film. Is just that's authentic as fuck. And that is creepy, and that is just
Well, because he keeps going back to that. That's his rationalization. This is a deeper spiritual experience. Like it's not just
you're not on the level. It's a spectrum. There's a way to connect, and if you're not open to it, if you're not making that connection, then you just don't understand. And I don't have time to explain it to you because it's either you get it or you don't.
It's like when I tried to explain like internet bullshit to Paul.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to tell you all about this. You need to know. Prophet says, off topic note, my new video with 2 views that was unlisted about how coronavirus is over was just deleted by YouTube before I could even share it. They are watching, brothers.
Odyssey.
Yeah, actually, Prophet, you belong on Odyssey. Yeah,
Go on
that's a good
Odyssey.
point. Trami says that he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Mares do orgasm. Yes, they do. Call them maregasms.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. I'm glad you got this. You know
actually,
what I mean?
back one of the times I watched this, I can't remember which time it was. Prophet actually came in and he's like, that sounds like the greatest like band name ever. Is Maregasm.
Maregasm.
Their orgasms, a lot of times, well, they will, you can feel their muscles tense up and they kind of oomph, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, like a person.
Just that
like
release before they just ejaculate.
Yeah, I've seen many a mare O-face.
So into that.
I like to throw a big mirror up in the barn so I can see it.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm really into insertion porn.
Human pussy,
that
horse
moment.
pussy. Christ. I am.
Trauma says, "Oh, please do go on, mate."
Jeez.
And yes, they orgasm.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt.
My dick, my brain, we are aligned. We know.
Now, what about the deer community? How come nobody's servicing these deers?
Nobody asks animals whether they want to work for us, serve as foods for us in a restaurant or at home. Nobody.
Oh, you got to bring these psychos into it too. You got to bring these psychos into it. Be like, nobody asked their permission to do these other things that sustain the species. What do you think about that?
You know, they got to be. I mean, he's a passionate filmmaker. He's got to be holistic. He's got to bring in all these great points of view. You know, what was it 27 some minutes into it? Still not sure like where he's driving, man. I'll give
he's driving out. He's talking about fucking dumping hot loads.
He's talking about that hot bull action, that hot maregasm.
That poor lady's being cucked by a goddamn mare.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go down and watch.
No, while the golden retrievers, licking that up. So
probably at the same time, Paul.
It's. I bet you it gets pretty freaky. I bet you they got a D live channel
she gets
too.
that. She probably gets that all natural peanut butter that you got to stir up because the oil rises to the top.
Oh yeah.
They don't go cheap.
Kind.
They don't go cheap. They don't go cheap.
Well, it's better for the dog.
Well, yeah, he's gonna enjoy it more. Yeah, of course.
You got to think about their coat and everything.
We know that mares come. There is no doubt. We must trust the science and go in hot. Fibroelastic. That was for profit. Yeah, Paul Bunyan is a rather regular Dr. Fauci. Prophet says Google fibroelastic.
Yeah.
I have a sense. I got a sense.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
I got a sense.
Or anything. People just take animals for granted. But when it comes to having sex with animals, all of a sudden people start feeling very uncomfortable about this and say, this is abuse.
Yeah.
But killing animals, that's okay because we eat them.
Like, yes. Oh, yes. Because killing an animal and eating it provides like a service. It's like, granted, like we said before, watching the vegan lady video, could we have a conversation about the mechanisms of this process? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. That's totally fair. But to draw a parallel as if these are the same fucking things, what planet do these psychopaths live on?
Not the same things, but just using that as the excuse for that. No, I am actually loving this animal, and you're the one that's torturous and being inhumane. Like it is insane. And it's just another one of these examples of people just denying reality, like what nature is. People want to deny nature and just contrive this notion that we can be what we haven't, but we can just decide on a whim, just identify against our like millions of years of evolution, and we're just going to be whatever the fuck we want to be, and then it's just going to be a whole side like, you know, overnight we're going to overturn millions of years of evolution and just accept it. Just accept it.
Well, it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. Like to even suggest, the suggestion itself is reprehensible. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? These are not the same they're not even on this. This is not even the same game.
No.
That's like why don't baseball players tackle each other? They tackle each other in football. Why don't they tackle each other? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like the only honest one in this whole thing was the guy gaming the system. That's it. That's the only like backstory that like I bought into. Like, yeah,
where he's just like, I'll get one up on
Paul
you,
Bunyan
ladies.
is just a brutal.
He's just a
brutal perv. Just a brutal perv. Like, it wouldn't have to be like, you know, a bestiality. That guy could be a perv, top notch perv in anything. That dude, like I bought into that guy's backstory. Like, and you know, and at the end of the day, like I said, you know, did he win? Who's winning here? You, Sean, me, or that dude?
Well, I think we're winning. We're winning.
We're winning.
We get to stand
we're
in
winning
judgment.
in this Judeo-Christian like traditional sense, right? Yeah, but who's really?
I've
winning?
never felt
Who's really
closer
winning?
to Judge Judy than I do right now. Standing in judgment. Be like, oh, what are you talking about?
What are you talking
No,
about?
no. Get to it. Get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Hope everybody likes onions.
So, you know, everybody else asks. I haven't heard. What was your first experience?
Well, actually, it was kind of interesting. I was house sitting for somebody watching
This is going to be super interesting, I'm sure. Actually, it's a kind of a funny story.
their dog and their birds and their fish and stuff. I was maybe 10, 11 years old. I don't quite remember. So I went skinny dipping. And one day I bent over to test the water. You know how you do. Just bend over.
Yes,
and put your hand
it's
in the
nice
water.
to know how cold it is.
Yes, and well, their dog kind of snuck up behind me and stuck his nose between my legs. Needless to say, I was a little bit surprised, but I was like, that feels good. But then he decided he wanted a little more, so he jumped on.
Oh, here we
And
go.
at that
The
point,
dog,
I
the
learned what
animals
it was to
decided.
lose your virginity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh Christ!
The dog
Oh
took her
Christ!
virginity.
Oh Christ! Can we talk about your perverted uncle before that? Yeah, because there's totally a backstory on this one. Oh my God!
What are you talking about? It's just completely organic, natural
that just happened.
experience.
That just happened. You know, happy household, unbroken,
Yeah.
you know, stable life, and it just serendipitously, a dog's nose went up my vajayjay, and all of a sudden, I got hooked, just like that.
I was hooked on dog dick from that day on.
Just like that.
Tarabi says, Judge Judy, we need Judge Dredd for these people.
Dude, that yes. I am drinking to that one. Yes, Judge Dredd.
It scared me half to death. But then it kind of started feeling good, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But then again, the other scare that I had was, oh my God, I'm going to have puppies.
I think I was like 22 the first time that I had, you know, allowed a dog to have sexual intercourse. So, it
So
kind of
this
just
one
grew
has the
from
power.
there.
This one, you know,
But, I mean, I
acknowledges
had-
power. She allowed the dog. She allowed the dog.
Very woke, very progressive.
Gotcha.
Very
Oh,
progressive.
there's one road in every party, right?
Had dog companions in between. I've always loved the feel of fur my whole life. And my dog was always there as a good friend, soaking up tears, whatever I was going through. And I don't know, I guess it was just one night. We were snuggling in bed and I was petting him and he just got very curious.
Oh, yeah.
And,
As they do. As
you
they
know,
do.
I mean, there was more of an oral thing. And I mean, I became kind of curious about him. So, I mean, to begin with, it was more of just curiosity.
Yeah.
So you lost your virginity to a
Prophet's like, feed her to the dog.
Yeah, she just needs to keep packing on the beautiful, so her husband thinks she's a horse, and then her life
Well,
will be
that's true.
solved, you know?
That's true. That's true. Prophet's all
Fire, on
Fire.
fire, on fire.
This dog is on fire.
No, Prophet would think that pepper is too spicy.
human first.
To a human. I was like, 15 or 16. 15.
I was 21 when I lost my virginity.
It was before I was 16 because, I guess I was more curious sexually and more interested.
My problem was is most of my boyfriends weren't interested in it, and I never could figure out why.
What's that?
I said, who isn't curious at 16? More curious at 16.
Well, hold on. Did you hear what that lady said?
No.
More of an oral thing. And I became kind of curious about him. So, to begin with, it was more of just curiosity.
So you lost your virginity to a human first?
To a human. I was like, 15 or 16. 15.
I was 21 when I lost my virginity.
It was before I was 16.
21.
Because, I guess I was more curious sexually and more interested.
My problem was is most of my boyfriends weren't interested in it, and I never could figure out why.
Oh, we could assume a couple of things.
We could assume a few things.
We could throw some things at the dartboard there.
Prof says, imagine the smell of her gunt.
Ooh.
The gunt is furious. The gunt is large.
I'd imagine it smells like a dog's breath.
It smells like dog cum.
Wet dog.
It smells like dog fart.
Or like what's the aftermath of an orgasm, right? It's probably that.
God.
It's probably that.
It's very pungent. I like it a lot.
Ellie did eventually meet Ken, who shares her sexual preference.
Oh, we need to grab a couple handfuls of that smaller. Okay.
Oh, she came back.
I was technically a
they're together. He's with that.
Okay.
That chick. Yeah. Jerome says your movie sucks. Would have been hard for that scene. That's a very online reference, Jeremy.
Virgin until I was 29 years old. I was a zoophile up until then, and I just basically didn't have much interest in other members of my own species as far as a life bond or anything. But when I met Ellie here, we clicked. It was the one person that I felt within a week probably after I met her. We were meant to be together.
Ken and Ellie met through a zoo friend on the internet. After a few weeks, they arranged their first date.
There it rears its ugly head again. We're watching this. They're getting together. The internet mistake.
Well, the first night that he came up to visit me, I took him down to the barn to introduce him to some of my horses and some of the other horses that I enjoyed at the barn. And I took him in and introduced him to my miniature stallion. And kind of, I don't know if it was subconscious, I was very nervous and kind of wanted to do the shock factor, as it were. My miniature stallion was dropped and masturbating. When his penis is dropped and he slaps it on his belly, they call that masturbation for stallions. And so one thing led to another.
Yeah, because the stallion knows when this chick comes down, like he's gonna get his dick sucked. He was ready. He was ready. He was slapping that thing around.
She gonna blow this horse? Is that what she's gonna talk about?
I think that's the
She gonna blow this horse, man?
Trami says you're my zoo friends for reference.
And I couldn't resist, so I bent down and started sucking on him. And then he tried climbing on top of me. So the next thing I know, my pants are down and I'm bending over for him. And I'm like, excuse me, I can't resist. and
that's the first date.
That's their first date. This is his first date. I mean, hey, man, if you're going to go in, go hard, dude. Go hard.
You know what you're getting into day one.
There's no misconceptions about what this relationship is.
God.
I just blew this horse and then I let it fuck me in front of you. How do you feel about this?
Part of me said, okay, either he's for real and he won't mind this, or he's not for real and he's going to be totally freaked out by it and run.
And then
he's just not for real.
Then he started beating off immediately, and I knew this is the one.
How many guys do you think she did this with?
Probably
this process.
Well, I'm going to say one other, because that's probably all she was able to rein in. But then again, I don't know. The internet is a strange and dark place full of terrors. So who knows? It could be one. It could have been 1,000. So I don't. I don't know, man, but I just you know how visual I am, Sean.
I
You
know,
know I
I
didn't
know.
grow
Dude,
up
we
with a
all see
TV,
it.
Sean. You
You
know I
see
grew up
this.
in
You
the
see this
woods,
chick's.
Sean. It's just like these visuals, man. And then it came out, and I took it by myself. I just got.
Yeah,
And
take him
then
down to the barn to show him some of the mares and the miniature stallions that I really like. Tarami says watching Paul try to handle this mentally is almost the best part.
Cheers.
Obviously, he didn't run.
He didn't run.
No, actually, I was very tempted at the point to have sloppy seconds. It turned me on. It was so erotic to watch this.
He was tempted to have sloppy seconds. I love that he used the term too, the proper bro dude term of watching a chick get railed. Just like being at a party and the chick's, just she's lined up, bunch of dudes is like, man, let me get in there. Let me get in.
What I said at the beginning, I was like, that guy, he's gonna be promising. He's gonna be.
Oh, you don't even like wait. It hasn't even gotten crazy yet for that guy. Prof says these animals cost a lot to maintain. Where the fuck did these people get the funding? The farmland, the tractors, the fucking gall. Send fire. Send fire.
If there's a will, there's a way. Well, now thanks to the internet, they probably have a GoFundMe, or they probably have some type of story.
They have a Patreon now. They have a Patreon.
It's something. Well, dude, imagine that on the dark web.
And just the whole thing, and it didn't shock me at all. In fact, I was like, this is pretty cool. I think I found somebody here that might be on my plane here. And
on the level.
It went from there, and we
on the level.
Here we are, married.
Yeah.
Oh, they're married. Let me ask you a question. Do you think these two actually have sex at all? Are they straight animal fuckers? I mean, he did say he lost his virginity to a human, so I assume she is the person.
At age 21, right?
Well, she lost it before they met, obviously. But he had never. I don't think he had lost it before he met her. So they've at least done it once.
Yeah. I have nothing, man.
What say you?
I thought I was going to say something, but I have nothing, man.
Well, I have vaginal sex with my miniature stallion. He's not a whole lot larger than most humans. He is a bit bigger, but not uncomfortably.
Yeah, but is he like dog fart big? I mean, like, I'm gonna say it's probably dog fart big. We're talking some BBC here.
Is he black.com big?
Blackened. Get it right.
No, it's blacked. You got to get your point stuff straight.
We don't serve the same sites.
So,
oh, I'm sorry, Sid.
I like to suck on him orally, and he especially enjoys that.
I have anal sex with the miniature stallion. He penetrates me, and it's pleasurable, but it's not real intense. It's like I said, the pleasure that I get from it is more from knowing how much he enjoys having sex with me. He tends to.
So this is fucking
okay. So
miniature stallion busting this dude's ass open.
Okay, so I should have you saw that coming. That's on me. Okay, I should have come with it. But that delivery, because this is this is a bro. This is tailgate. This is
guy,
beach bum. This is a dude. This is Bonnie Tyler, right? It just the way that just rolled off the tongue. It's just a.
Well,
yeah,
that's the craziest thing about
penetrate me.
Dude, that is the wildest thing about this documentary is how casual and open they are about this, right? Because you would think you would have some sort of self-awareness,
right?
Like the ability to feel shame about it or whatever. That's why some of these producers must have been very charming, very disarming for these people to expose themselves this way. Or maybe they were just like, fuck, it's on the BBC. Like, who's going to see it?
But then again, these people are pseudo performers, like what we saw from Paul Bunyan earlier, right? They want to see the proper people, right? So maybe they conveyed themselves to these people as proper, and now
it's part of it's like part of the fold, right?
How much do you want to bet that they're like, hey, do you guys you want to see me get penetrated by this miniature stallion?
Probably happened at least once. Like, oh, well, do you guys need some B-roll footage of me getting fucked by the stallion?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it would go great when I was talking about the extreme pain that I feel being fucked in the ass by a horse. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
The horse is like, turn around.
Every now and then I like to fuck a little ass, and then
Oh my God.
Jeremy says, release the "Where Are They Now" follow-up doc for these people.
Right. And
They're all
can we have
dead.
like the old school like VH1 pop-ups? Like, did you know that a major stallion average electron length?
To tell me about it, he talks a lot. He grunts and wickers and blows in my ear, etc. And that is very erotic to me, more so than the physical sex.
When he's courting me, as it were, trying to entice me to bend down or kneel down, he does a lot of I call it a hubba hubba. He just kind of goes and makes this little hubba hubba noise to me, and then once he's in, I mean, for every stroke that
The
he
horse
does,
or Bonnie
he makes
Tyler?
big
I
grunting
missed
noise.
that.
And then when he
The horse or Bonnie Tyler? I missed that. So is he?
She's talking about the
signal-
horse.
Okay. So she's mimicking what the horse's signal is. So she okay.
No, so,
Okay.
so she's suggesting that the horse courts her by by giving signals out, maybe slapping his dick around, as we've learned. That's horse masturbation. And he gives a big grunting and hubba hubba with every stroke.
Yeah, every stroke. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that I got that.
You want to understand. I understand. You want to know. You got to know. You got to know.
No. Well, I'm getting near the end of my bottle, Sean, and I'm just, I'm not. I don't feel sharp as I did in the beginning, and I want to make sure I'm not missing any critical points here.
Trami says these are a Jerry Springer retrospective, which includes the horse mayor, I think. We got to ask the mayor some questions. We need like one of these animal psychics to come in and talk to these animals.
Yeah.
Orgasms, he makes an even bigger grunting noise.
And he tends to like to hold on.
Dude, imagine being fucking a horse blowing its fucking load inside of you. Dude, that's a massive load.
Yeah.
It's a horse. That's horse cum.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like watching a hentai and it's all dripping out of you.
Yeah, no, head tie is a great way to explain that, like what that could look like, right? Fuck. Well, we'll never know until Prophet sets up his Odyssey channel.
He can show us.
With his teeth, and I actually have some scars on my back from where he's bitten onto me, just hanging on.
But it was kink, though, right? It was kinky, though, right?
It's just kink.
You knew that was going to happen, right? Because you guys consented about it. You talked about it. Like, you knew it was going to happen. This is just the thing we do. This is the thing we do,
So this horse fucking this dude in the ass and biting him in the back to hold on.
Right.
Paul.
God damn it.
Paul.
I hate you, Sean. No, I don't hate you, Sean.
Tromby says, I hear Sean is coming around to the idea.
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude. I don't want a horse coming dripping from my orifices. Orifice eyes.
They do the same thing with mares when they have sex. And only mares have fur to hang on to. He tends to get a big chunk of skin with me. And that can be quite painful. But usually I don't even notice until after the fact because I'm so caught up in the moment. And then
because the pain from being fucked in the ass is so intense that I don't even notice the horse biting me in the back. I don't even know. It doesn't even register. It's like major pain when he goes and breaks the guy's finger.
Show a little trick, get your mind off that pain. Give me your finger.
When I get up to the house, and Ellie says, "Oh, I see you've been down fooling around. You've got a big bite mark on your back again."
He's like, "You got me. You got me. You got
Guilty."
me." And she's like, "Oh my God, could you spit some? Let me felch it out of your ass." She probably goes and sucks the horse cum out of his ass, dude.
Dude. I appreciate my first and last nightcap.
Paul will never come back.
I don't think I'll ever call you again after this.
He might be coming on some backs, but he's not going to be coming on Nightcap.
JRH NBR. Just the right height. No bucket is required. I have
also another great band name. Just the right height, no bucket required.
I
Look at
did my
this
best
sick
not
fuck.
to like.
Look
I
at
did
this
my best
guy.
not to spit that out.
Look at this motherfucker, dude.
That oh my god.
Look how happy he is.
Mm-hmm.
A man
This is
in
the
his
epitome
element.
of like.
He gets
This
the
is
same
like my
play.
this is like my internal gift, my internal meme of like everything that I think is truly perverted, fucked up, or corrupt in the world. Like this is now my frame of reference of what that looks like. If I want to manifest like an idea that is like terrible and disgusting, so base at its core level, like this is what I'm going to be thinking of now.
Yeah.
Intertwined with Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah. You're never gonna hear
If
fucking
I
Total
want
Eclipse
to
of
take
the
that
Heart.
idea and I want to manifest it in like a slightly less threatening manner, then I'm going to think
Yeah.
of the other one.
It's an ass ache.
And to have a pony mare that is JRHNBR. And that's really nice because you're not trying to do a balancing act standing on something.
It's so funny. The guys start comparing about what they used to stand on,
or how
what
they
is more
discuss, or
stable.
how they
It's
discuss.
truly hilarious, girls. What a
Mm-hmm.
row. They're like, yeah, dude, it's great when you can find a pony where you don't have to stand on a bucket because that's awkward. You know, you can't get to business.
No.
As in their car.
Well, form I imagine is key.
Well,
Form is always key, but
It's always key.
placement though, because you can't. It's not obviously this is far from conventional, right? You can't lay down. There's no horizontal hustle here, so you have to get a good balance. Like, and what's also crazy too, like with that balance and like with this, like there's, I'd imagine an element of being fit would equate into this at some point. And none of these
Yeah.
people seem like they have the stamina or the way. Well, except for Bonnie Tyler, because I mean, he made it clear he's like a power bottom. He's
He
just taking it.
receives. Yeah.
He's going to take it. He's going to take it in the ass, and he's going to take chunks of skin off his back. But I mean, everyone like to actually like thrust go in.
but that's like the you get around like farmers and stuff, right? Like they're all like that.
Yeah.
They're all like that.
Wait, they're all like.
What I'm saying is like they don't look like they would have like strength and stamina, but they're just like solid fucking people.
Yeah.
Right? Like they got the pot
yeah.
belly and the overalls. And I know I'm being a little broad and stereotypical.
Right.
But I've known many people that were like farmers.
No, just like where we grew up, like that.
Yeah,
farm
they'll
strength,
go out.
that's a real thing.
They'll work for 18 hours a day, like hard labor, and you'd be like,
No,
and
you're
like,
right.
And
You're
I've had that experience with like pipeliners and stuff. You're like, how do these people even function?
Right.
But there you
They
have
do.
it.
They do.
Prophet says, name 5 historical leaders who would have never let this happen. I'll wait.
GW1.
Bill Clinton would have been all about this.
Tyson Chicken Farms, man.
George W. Bush didn't ride on any goddamn Epstein plane. I can tell you that much. Yeah, sure. He bombed the Middle East back into the Stone Age, but that's different.
It was a different time. It was a simpler time.
Or then you go to a strange barn and you start and you catch the guys checking the bottoms of the feed buckets for footprints.
To me, I feel there are a lot more
That's how paranoid they are. We got to check the feed buckets. Has somebody been trying to fuck a horse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, we got to look.
women who are with their dogs that men have no idea.
So crazy.
I'm sure there are probably people who would say, well, boy, you're going to hell because of how you are. But I'll tell you, if there's a hereafter, just let me muck the stalls and care for them.
If one exists, they're probably
just
going to give
feel
you
so good
dads for
inside.
the horses you found.
This guy is so into it that he's like, his heaven is just mucking horse stalls so he can be around hot horse ass.
Hot action, man. Hot
action. Hot fuck action to the max, Jack.
To the max. All day. For eternity.
Kisses.
Watch out. Watch out. This man cannot be trusted. Get away. Oh, you're going to try to tell me this is not consent?
No. Look how the horse's bottom lip is just tucked back in. You could tell that he's just
Yeah, you don't want it.
Not feeling it. Not feeling it. You can tell.
He's just trying to placate.
He's
this
like,
man.
hey, stop trying to show off, okay? We know this doesn't happen in daylight. We know it's in the wee hours of the morning when you come in there on those buckets, evidently, right? And stop the show, right? right?
Well,
Because
yeah.
as they said in the beginning, horses don't need that foreplay. They want to get straight to the business. So you can see by the bottom lip curling in, he's saying, "Cut the shit. Cut the shit.
He says,
Don't make this into a thing.
This
Don't
is
make
the
this into a thing. You're so emotional about this. I can't fucking stand it. You get some cameras out here, you turn into a
He's
fucking
like,
prima
just
donna.
fuck me and fucking move on,
You
dude.
know when and where this is going to happen. Why are you doing this? Why?
Listen, I'm a hoe. Let me be a hoe. Let me be a hoe.
You know,
just let me be it.
It just
Why does it
there's
gotta be a
something about
spiritual
places,
thing
something
with
about
you?
places and knowing it, right? And knowing yours. And let's
These
just cut the
fucking
shit. Cut
these
the
Paul
shit.
Bunyan types, man. They just like, they're trying to have a deeper experience, and the horse is just
Overreaching.
like, no.
No. You do that shit 101. You do all that word mumbo jumbo to the camera over there, but here, this right now in the now, you know what this is. Cut it out. And I got that off from the underlip. And I'm sorry. I'm just realizing what's happening.
Prophet says this is like a fucking Kids in the Hall skit. It actually kind of is. Like, this would be
A little bit.
it would be a Kids in the Hall skit.
It
Like,
definitely.
yeah. look at he's in ecstasy, dude. He can't even contain himself.
No.
Oh, Maverick's in the house. What are you doing up so late, Maverick? Or up early? Nelson Mandela, Alexander the Great, Pol Pot, Queen Lucia, and Charlemagne. They
That's
would
a
not let
response to
this happen.
Prophet. Yeah. Bravo.
I'm not ashamed of who and what I am. There's no shame involved, and it's taken me many years to learn to deal with that.
No shame. No shame.
Zoophiles who have accepted their sexuality and can share it with their partners are the lucky few. For most, discovery leads to disaster. Sarah now lives alone with her dogs.
My husband and I were married for almost 10 years, and we had a pretty happy marriage. We both worked. We owned a home. We had 2 cars. We had 2 dogs. We were a happy couple.
Until
This is like once I saw this is all I can think about when I see like couples that are like really into their dogs.
Mhm.
This is all I see.
Oh,
this is all I see.
So I think
Maverick says, "Evening, boys. What's up, buddy?"
Evening, buddy.
Trauma says, "Took him many years to rationalize this depravity." It did.
It's
It
right.
seems like
There's
he's
a
really
lot
worked
of
up
mental
to it.
gymnastics in that, for sure. Unless if you're like the first dude, and like, I gained the system. So
He's
succinct,
like,
so
"I actually
succinct,
won."
so pure, so direct. Just
He's like, I won. I beat him.
I wish I could tackle life the way that guy tackles his pony.
Pixel.
It's a pixel.
I didn't really become aware of zoophilia until much later in my life.
She's like, I was already having sex with dogs before I even knew what it was called.
When Miles and I moved into my room together, it became a little more intimate.
She's wearing a
Prophet
cross.
asks, is Maverick Generation Y? Yes, he is. Go
we
subscribe and
doxing
like.
people here. We
He
doxing
actually-
people here.
he
Oh
actually
my
did-
god.
He actually did a real content thing earlier today where he interviewed a guy that got fired from a UK university for being against wokeism. So that's on his channel right now. Go check it out.
I think the first time that I actually decided to take my clothes off and feel his fur next to my bare skin was
Love how they're showing a
pretty
dog behind a steamy
surprising.
window.
That was one of
Yeah,
my
like the suggestion. It's like
her talking about recanting the story is not enough. Like we want to show this little added thing here.
well, especially because this is 2004.
Yeah.
So like Titanic had come out. Remember, the scene of Titanic, right?
yeah.
So we have that like visual identifier, that cue.
Yeah.
What does the steamy window mean?
Oh, you know what that
Means
means.
you fucking, dude.
That means that hot bull action.
the first things that I did was I just stripped and
Alpha male, indeed.
Ooh.
Alpha male.
Well, just alpha
And
now
got
because
down
we
on
got to be inclusive of all species
Oh, that's true. Just straight alpha. My apologies.
to the max.
on my and laid down on my bed, and my dog come up, and the two of us just laid down and took a nap together. He gave me a lick on my nose, and it was just like a regular relationship.
Just like heaven.
Just feeling the comfort of his warm body next to mine, and
Once again,
and
the
it just
animal
never felt
initiated the
like
sequence.
anything
So
was
bizarre.
wrong with that.
How
It-
bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
Who am I to deny
We
the
don't interfere
gravity
with
of
this.
what's
Don't
going
interfere
on?
with this. They obviously wanted it.
Obviously, they're asking for it. They
Obviously.
initiated it, Paul. If they didn't want it, they
Mhm.
wouldn't have come up to you.
Exactly. They wouldn't look at me like that.
Why are you trying to Me Too this lady?
Well,
what are you doing?
I got nothing.
It always felt really natural to me.
Oh my God.
Sarah was 36 when her husband first began to suspect her relationship with Miles, the family dog. He decided to have Miles castrated.
Oh snap! That's cold.
Well, I
dog.
would say
that's
that-
cold.
He's like, hey Miles, you fuck my wife.
You fuck my wife. Miles?
I'm gonna
Fuck
fucking
my wife?
castrate you, buddy. Neutered to the max.
The act of castrating Miles was one of the nails in the coffin, but the threat to have him euthanized if he found out I was having anything to do with him that way
Maybe he was
was
trying to save you.
absolutely the last nail in the coffin of my marriage.
Well, what do you think is next? You take away one thing, and then Miles still has a mouth there, buddy. Like, what did you think that
Yeah.
was just going to stop? Do you think that was going to stop this person that you married, that you think that you loved? And I love how it stops with another train coming. What do you think it's with the use of the train frames?
Yeah, I was
huh?
going to ask you, what do you think is the
Like,
thematic
it's just like-
significance of the trains?
Well, I'm struggling to
it's-
remember the last time they brought it in the train, but like in this particular sense, right? We're coming to a clash of reality with the husband finding out and taking a step to change it, and
Yeah,
then
it's like-
now she's
it's
going
like-
to come up with her stance. Oh, sorry, she's going to come up with her stance of why she's going to pursue to live her truth or her life, right? With this totally consensual freaking relationship. So
I think for me, it signifies inevitability.
Mm.
That's what trains usually signify because they're on a track. You can't stop them. They keep just going. So it's inevitability. It's like, oh, well, this was the inevitable outcome is that like, I'm going to have a relationship with my pony. I'm going to fuck these dogs. I'm going to do whatever. Like that
Alright.
seems like whenever they kind of interject the trains, it's
Mhm.
always juxtaposed
Yeah.
with like something happening in their lives where they have to like make a choice.
I see. Yeah, or it could be like a train wreck. It's coming, and you can't look away. You can't look away.
That's true as well. Maverick says base. The dog's running a train on his wife.
Well, not
oh
after
yeah,
that.
deeper meaning.
Mhm. Mhm.
Traumi says, oh, or there's a fucking train wreck incoming. There you go.
Hey, buddy.
Like mines.
When family and friends gather around,
We go
you
right
want to be sure to have everyone's favorite cracker on
Get
hand.
that peanut butter. You gotta get that peanut butter. You know what I mean?
And that's going to be 561 now.
I would have to say in my life, looking back at all the relationship I've had with humans, that it's been really frustrating and it's been really hard.
Yeah, because you have to like develop a camaraderie. You have to develop
Mhm.
like emotions. You have to talk to people. Dogs, not so much. You just
Yeah.
jerk them off enough, they just like jump into bed with you.
Yeah,
Apparently,
condition them enough with treats, Which ironically, men are the same way. So she done fucked up. She fucked up.
That's very true. If she had just been jerking off her husband and giving him
Mhm.
sandwiches,
Could have solved so many problems.
so many fucking problems. That's all I need is a
Yeah.
blowjob and a pizza. And
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
no. Like if he'd had a couple nuts busted during that week, he never would have had the energy or the ambition to take your dog to get him castrated. He wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't have cared.
Be like,
But
you know what,
there you
Karen?
go.
I'm
No,
spent.
she
I'm
she got
spent.
selfish. She got selfish and probably sloppy, because she didn't cover up her tracks. And then the horse, she's lucky, it was with a dog and not a horse person, because a horse person obviously would have found it earlier, like they said with the buckets. For instance.
He would have found the buckets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trami
would've been
says,
out.
Miss, excuse me, which peanut butter brand would you say adheres better? I'm sorry,
Ooh.
what?
I like the use of it here. I see what you did there.
That woman's mine.
And it's not because
Hey, aren't you the lady that is married to a dog?
Hey, there she looked like anybody, like
Oh, that's
everybody
cool.
else.
That's cool. Hey, listen, can I get my Camel 99s, please? Yeah, lights.
lack
Just a regular
interpersonal
cashier lady.
skills
Looks
because
like everyone
I
else.
don't. I get along quite well in the world with people. But
Maverick,
as
you
far
dirty
as
dog.
really being able
Mhm.
to extract any really great and tremendous personal happiness, it's been lacking. And I've found that when I'm sitting quietly at home and my dog is
They're like,
I
is she
can't.
talking about me? Is she talking about me?
Me?
My
Am I the
ears
good
are
boy?
burning. My ears are burning.
Am I about to get a peanut butter? Peanut butter guitar?
Oh shit, Mary's home.
Mm.
Maybe she got crunchy.
You know
asleep,
You know that one.
and I can put my hand on him and the two of us sit, that at that moment I know such pure happiness and contentment. It can't be equaled and has never been equaled.
You have
Yeah.
never felt such unconditional love.
Unconditional. Like it just enjoying that dog, enjoying their dog's body.
A lot of people.
I love it, like the slow pan down to this trailer.
Mhm.
Yeah, me and Pixel are still fucking.
You know, I was wondering if they're going to circle back to this guy. They would have to, right?
RD came over. He
Mhm.
watched.
Mm-hmm.
He watched.
Going to think that this interest you have in horses is because you've failed with women.
Goddamn
they're going to
right.
think
Well, he couldn't have completely failed. He has 2 kids. So what the fuck happened?
We don't know if they're biological or not.
I'm pretty sure they are. Would your non-biological children be like, okay, Dad, I don't want to talk to you about
Maybe
it,
if
but
they
I'll
were
stop by.
if they were raised by him, we don't know. You know
They-
why?
they
Because
pull up to the
that episode of Jerry Springer never released. So now we don't know.
That's true.
We don't know.
They pull up to the trailer. It's just all the animals walking bow-legged.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Would you love to take this guy on Mari, just see the genetic results? Obviously, because it's reality, it'd all be negative, but just to see his reaction, like I'm not, like every time, because that's how fucking delusional he is.
I would love it to be like an Island of Dr. Moreau situation where they just keep bringing out animal human hybrid children.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you are the father.
You
and it's just like a pig person coming out like
it's abominations just coming out. Like an
Maverick
actual
says-
sheeple coming out.
Maverick says, leave it to the English to ask a completely soul-destroying question in a placid and robotic way.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
this
the
is your
way.
people, Maverick.
Your
you guys
people.
did this. You thrusted this upon us.
It's the
we
gift
didn't
to
know
us.
this is the darkness in our midst, and we had no idea. We were
Mm.
all living happy, productive lives, normal lives, not degenerate lives.
Ignorance
and then this
is bliss.
fucker on the BBC decides to come and he's like, hey,
Mhm.
look what's going on in Missouri.
Yeah. And thanks to you people, I know BBC means another thing. So, whatever. Just when you think you know something.
Jared Moby says, release the Springer cut.
Yes. Let's start a hashtag campaign, Jeremy. Let's do it.
that it's an emotional cop-out.
Zoophilia, in my case,
It's pretty fucking cool.
is an emotional cop-out in a way, in several
What?
ways. I have to be honest about it.
Did he say emotional cop out?
Yeah, they asked him if this was an emotional cop out, and he's like, yeah, kind of.
I'd much
But
rather
admitted
deal with
it,
a
though,
horse
Sean.
than deal with complications of a human emotional relationship.
Yeah, because this is all about just hedonism. It's about just pleasure. He's like, I don't want to be bothered with the aspects that come with a relationship. I don't want to deal with having to manage a girlfriend or a wife or whatever.
Mhm.
He's just like, nah, man, I'd like to just give her some apples and just get straight to fucking.
Yeah.
God damn it,
That's
Shrek.
As one does.
God damn it, Shrek. What are you doing?
This every time I've gone the human emotional route, it's been a train wreck. There've been the mind games come on, and pretty soon you're not having an emotional relationship anymore. You're having some kind of freaking contest. And I got tired of that. I didn't need that in my life anymore.
He's like, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Trauma says, I looked in all the places I know, but was unable to find that Springer episode. It has been aired because there are clips of it being cammed on a TV. You know, those cam clips might be from this documentary. Because there are 2 documentaries I think the original one heavily features this guy, but I think they reused a lot of footage for this one. So it's probably from this documentary, the cam footage.
Look at that briefcase there on the counter. On the side it says
It's like
slides.
Yeah, it's like Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Except this is he opens it up, it's gold, but it's just full of fucking horse cum. He slurps it all up.
$100,000 an ounce.
Precious stuff.
The purest.
Hey, I got the purest horse
From
cum
the
there
Arabian
is.
Prince. From the Arabian Prince. $1,000 an ounce.
Paul Bunyan comes up. He's like, "Whoa, what you got there? I'll pay whatever you want.
What's the
I'll pay
market
whatever you
value?
want."
Wait, I don't care. Here's the check. Give me what I want.
You know what it should say Marigasm on the side of that, by the way.
Marigasm better be fucking Mary guaranteed. $1,000 an ounce. Let me tell you.
Trami says, which wallet is yours? It's one that says bad pussy fucker. Excellent, Trami. Excellent joke. I'm jealous. I should have got there.
Mark did try to suppress his desire for animals. He married and had 2 children. But his attempt to live without horses was to end in tragic failure.
He looks like the guy from fucking Super Troopers.
Yeah. Want a liter of cola? Can I get a liter of cola?
Farver. Is that the guy?
Favre. Also, funny, from Vermont. I've seen a theme here.
There you go. There you go.
That's what I
love
wanted.
I love
kids.
the free, like
every
the
birthday.
ominous-
Oh, we'll get the pony show.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh no. Oh no. Don't worry, darling. We're getting the pony. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I know.
Papa's got a brand new bag. Ow.
Despite having a wife and children, Mark's attraction to horses still haunted him, and eventually his marriage broke up.
She took off, went to another state, got a job in another state, took the kids with her. I sat down with my prescription drugs and some needles and started to slowly kill myself.
Mark rented a motel room. He had decided to kill himself if he could not come to terms with his desires.
Well, he obviously did come to terms with his desires.
Yep.
A dark night of the soul, you might say.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Watching the horse races.
Yeah. The honest of places, he goes to find a nice, calm, peaceful place to get channel his inner zen, come to terms with reality and what he needs to do moving forward. As you can see from this nice establishment, he made the right choice for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said earlier, who's really winning? Who's winning? Is it you? Is it me? Or is it that guy?
Guy's got it all.
Is it that guy?
Out.
That game the
figured out.
system. That game the system.
Kings in our midst.
You think you're better than me because you're on a different system. I'm on the system that works for me. So, you know what?
Oh, you guys kept playing checkers. Now I'm playing chess, bitch.
3D chess, underwater, upside down, all that crazy bullshit. But you know what? Man.
And then he's just like Trump 2024.
Oh, shit, dude. It is officially January 6th.
Oh shit. Happy anniversary.
He wrote about that night in his book, The Horseman.
Oh, you read a book.
Oh, shit. Dude, you
bucks-
already
two
know.
bucks goes to the library.
You already
We gotta
know.
find
You already
it.
know. We got to find that book, fucker. We got to find that book.
He made me like this. But I'm just a sick pervert.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the first, well, maybe I can change, or if I can't change, maybe I can learn to live with it. To live with myself. Without so much guilt. If there's no reason, if I'm merely a piece of twisted subhuman scum, then
This is, you can't see it because of how close the camera is, but he's actually at Borders. It's actually a Borders bookstore right now. This is his reading.
in the world, my parents and my children would be better off without me around them.
So sad.
After that night, Mark realized that his emotional happiness lay with horses. He went to visit a horse trader.
Oh, okay.
What do you think I'll give for that little bay horse there?
About 350.
440.
About 350. Yeah, about 350. About 350.
350 some. We have 350.
Hard to come by. You can't hardly find a pony. They're all gone.
Yeah.
They're good.
This poor old fuck, he's just happy to have a friend. He's just happy to have somebody stop by. He's like, okay, yeah, bring on the horse fucker, whatever. I just need somebody to talk to, honestly. Talk horse prices.
I need that proper audience member.
Yeah, because he would know. Mark would know because he can value the horse on multiple levels.
We see Mark in this case though. He doesn't need the bucket like Paul Bunyan does. So
yeah, Mark.
But I'm sure he still shares that element of a proper audience. So.
Oh yeah.
So high.
Yeah.
He bought his first horse here, a young pony mare.
Cherry. Wild Honey Cherry. She saved my life. That little pony saved my life. I would have been dead in another 2 months.
Mark lived with Cherry for 1.5 years.
One night, we'd just finished making love, and I was sitting down on the edge of her feed bunker by her head. She kind of nibbling and nuzzling on me, and I was scratching her. And I looked at her.
What?
It's just fucking A, man.
It's too erotic for you.
It's just, man. You know, I started off so repulsed and so disgusted, but now, you know.
But now, 3 hours in.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
It's just, different. The lines are no longer blurred. I think it happened. Only took 300, minute. Keep going. I just want to see that eye twitch again. Relive that moment,
Yeah, when he's just like reliving the moment. Yeah.
But it's just how full of shit. It's just just the love, nuzzling on me. It's just the language they use that just facilitate this reality that they're this fake reality we're living in. It's just I've been watching it for like over an hour now, and it's still hitting me like what is happening? Why are you like this? It's so sad. It's so sad.
No, it's sad. I mean, like some people are more sad than others. Like the Paul Bunyan guy, you're like, oh, you're just like
that Paul
fucking
Bunyan guy,
freaky perv, dude. I would say even like the fucking Bonnie Tyler and his girlfriend, like they're also you're just like
those people. You want an accident to happen where the horse kicks him in the head, has this jerk reaction, and kicks him in the head and right?
Yeah.
This guy, you're like, get help. Reconvene with your kids, man. Like you want to root for this guy. You want to see because it is an everyday guy. It is a guy. You know what I mean? Like, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that sleaziness. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, come on, dude. He's talking about chat
wrong.
rooms about Marmaduke.
Don't get me wrong. He has that, but I'm telling you right now, the Gutto film from the fields and like damn near half a bottle of like whatever the fuck this like cheap Christmas present was. Like, I'm telling you, like I feel for this guy. I feel for this guy. Probably because we're probably more drawn to his backstory than everyone else. That's probably that.
He's the bulk of the documentary, so we've spent more time with him.
Right, yeah, but just get it together, man. He's probably dead by now. But
I think he is dead actually. Travis says I can picture him going between the ponies and determining which will be the right height. Maverick says, I wonder where this guy is now. I think this guy is dead. I actually think he's dead, if I'm not mistaken. Prophet says that pony saved my life. Without her, I wouldn't have lasted another 2 months. You know what? Fuck that pony. Fuck her. I need a 15 cubic foot freezer right fucking now.
And all my previous resolve about keeping sex separate, keeping animal sex as just a separate relief. When I realized then I couldn't deny it anymore. I loved her. I was in love with her.
Just like with the
And
steam
I
scene
told her,
earlier, like, do they need to like cut over it? Like
Those-
when they are like passionately talking about these animals in a romantic way, like, do we need that illustration there?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
that's like whoever like edited this too just had way more fun than they should have had. Like,
I think so. Because it does come off a little tongue in cheek, right? Like it
yeah.
does at times. 'Cause you're like, what is this music?
It's
Like, why are we cutting to this footage? Like,
what is happening?
but how could you help if this was your assignment, right? Like you just work for a network and they come to you with all this footage and this is your assignment. Be like, yo, we're making a fucking bestiality documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, and then you have to kind of be like, oh, okay, this is my job.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help myself. This would be way more fucked up if I made it.
Yeah.
Way more
Well,
fucked up.
yeah, it would, Sean. It would. I agree.
tears started trickling down my cheeks, and I reached over and just laid my hand on her nose and said, "Cherry, I love you. I'm in love with you."
I wish that Neil Diamond song would just bust in.
Right, just coming,
Yeah.
a guy that has been married, a guy that brought 2 children into this world, a guy that you would like to think by all conventional standards has a grasp or like, a traditional baseline of understanding of what love is now taking that same understanding definition that you and I both know of what love is and relaying it to a horse named Cherry.
Well, because like he explained it, right? Because he said he doesn't want the human complications. He does not want to the effort of like trying to navigate a relationship with another human being, because a horse, like we've talked about as this has gone on, animals, it's like all primal. They're not like actually bonding with you in the way that you think that they are. It's all
Mhm.
learned behavior. It's like a type of
Perverted
grooming.
projection.
Gaming Dragon says, "Ooh, what's this? Oh,
We're talking
you
about
gotta
hot
scrub
bull
back, buddy.
action.
It's too
Hot
long."
bull action.
Trami says, "The end of us."
I love you, Cherry.
Cherry
And
cola.
I just felt so happy, so extraordinarily happy. So, like I cast off chains that I'd worn for years and didn't even know were there. One night,
They're such assholes.
One night we had. I told her I loved her. The next day she got sick, and she died.
Heyo. That looks like a serial killer standing next to a horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get that
Sure
vibe.
does. Sure does.
Oh, that's me and Cherry. Who's that, Mark? Oh, it's Cherry.
Mm.
Artist rendition. My friend RD drew it. He's a trucker. He's got a cool dog named Marmaduke. He's also an artist.
Mark is suffering from hepatitis C.
Oh, no
He
shit.
caught the disease from an infected tattoo needle and needs kidney dialysis 3 times a week.
A friend of
She's
mine,
my cherry
Barbara
pie.
she's quite an artist. And
Give me like cream pies.
she designed this tattoo for me.
Oh. Oh,
The
like
ideal
Minotaur.
relationship with Pixel. I'd like to be able to communicate in more detail with her.
On his tummy.
Yeah.
On his stomach. So he has like a Minotaur woman
Mhm.
with a heaving
What's
breast.
he going to do, Sean? Get it on his back? Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up, man.
You never
Yeah,
get to see it.
exactly.
You're right.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, because he's just cranking, he's pulling his pud, looking at his stomach,
Mhm.
and and while he's pulling his pud, his stomach's going like this, and it's like it's
That's
moving.
like that trotting. Get that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's happening.
Hot stuff.
Fat man. That fat ass cheeks clapping. Make it clap. Make your hands clap.
Shit, I'll make that tail clap, girl.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Make that tail clap,
Oh
man.
my god, yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Where else would you put it, Sean? That's where it goes. That's where it goes.
Gaming Dragon says that's a sick tattoo, actually.
Dude, I'm not even going to lie, man. I'd probably get up there on the neck, though.
He's got some good friends. Yeah, right there on the neck, so everybody knows.
Yeah,
Just
just
gotta
right
show
there, so
everybody.
everyone knows. But still, take in mind, this was late 2000, late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, then you got to jerk off in front of a mirror, though. Like you said, like you wouldn't want it on your back. You got to have it somewhere. You could throw it on your forearm, maybe, on your leg.
Well, I suppose, but even in that current location, you would still need a mirror to see that. That's what I'm saying. It's all about self-love because they're doing it for themselves. So what angle are they looking at? They want an audience, or if the audience is themselves, the best audience, the most important audience, they're going to have a mirror there.
Oh,
So
these people are into mirrors.
I would do the neck because if I was in that, I'd be in that state I just described, and then that way, if I was in a public restroom, your restroom, if I came to visit you, I'd go there and boom, it's right, it's right there. I don't have to do this whole production, pull my shirt up, like it's right there. Accessibility, you got to be smart about these things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I give them a pass though because of the times. Neck tattoos weren't as
they weren't
acceptable.
as in. Yeah,
They weren't as in.
This is right before the tramp stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, this is getting right in the tramp stamp area. Man.
Yeah.
Era.
Deep down, way down, I'd love to have children with her.
And fuck them too.
She's, I don't know.
Because there's no end to it. There's no end to it.
A human child out of her, a half human child, or a regular foal out of her.
What the fuck? Like, just mental illness.
There's no end. There's no end to it. There's no end to it. Nothing will ever be fulfilled. This desire, this thing, it will never be. It creeps. It creeps into other things. It creeps into other things. It will never.
Maverick says, I can't help but look at my cat slightly differently now. And the Gaming Dragon says, this guy is what they used to call a clopper. A clopper?
Things to Google. Fuck, I got a lot of Googling.
That's not the issue, and of course, it's not going to happen. That's pure blue sky fantasy. But she means that much to me that if I could, I would.
He's like, I'm not crazy. I know I can't actually do it, but sometimes I dream about it. It's in my dreams.
Yeah.
Sometimes I dream about having a Minotaur child with Pixel. Come here, son.
Absolutely.
These assholes, man.
Dude, it's really
I want to find the people who made it, who cut and edited this, and just get them a drink. You caused me a very uncomfortable and painful thing. What did Trami say?
Trami says sexual gratification or erotica involving ponies, specifically ponies seen in My Little Pony. Friendship is magic.
Magical.
Trami says I had to look it up too. So that's what clopper means. Is My Little Pony fetishes.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Trami, because I didn't know either. I had no idea what Gaming Dragon was talking about. I was like, I'm gonna let it lie. I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah, but now we do.
Oh yeah, Jeremy comes in as well. Cloppers were a thing in the brony community, according to my, I'm gonna assume, research.
Fuck. Now there's something called a brony community.
Reaction to zoophiles.
Oh, he says according to his younger brother. Dude, save your younger brother.
Save him.
Take him to church or something. At least the Bible will tell you not to fuck animals.
Yeah, we know that for a fact. Leviticus, don't fuck that cow.
Deuteronomy.
And Leviticus. Don't fuck that beast.
Several times. Several places in the Bible.
No, but the people that edited this, man, they obviously had a lot of fun with it, dude. And it's...
Yeah, like how could you not? How could you not?
It kind of makes it really. It kind of makes it really. So.
Maverick says, I heard Jeremy from the Quartering is an ex-clopper. He's a guy that looks like the type. So when I watch things like this, like these animal passions documentary, and I see people like Jeremy from the Quartering that are into animals as much as he is, he's very into his German Shepherds. They're like, what is going on? And then I hear the music from this documentary that, oh yeah.
For most of us, just the thought of sex with animals is revolting.
But not to these people.
Yeah. Let's hear this whopping conclusion.
But while making these films, I found that we appear to fear and loathe zoophiles more than others we define as sexually deviant.
Wait,
Could it
what?
be?
I don't know if it's fear.
Wait, what?
I don't think fear is a part of it. Hold on, let's go back a second.
Yeah.
I don't think fear is a part of it.
Did he say fear?
I think he said fear and loathing.
Oh,
I don't need to see Mark again.
Absolutely.
Our reaction to zoophiles is not surprising. For most of us, just the thought of sex with animals is revolting.
But if you hear this ancient Native American flute music,
On top of a horse, breathing and exhaling heavily.
yeah, it goes down a little bit
Horse
easier.
pussy. Oh, you my pussy.
I think animals are spiritual creatures first.
Oh, yes, they are.
I think they should enjoy their bodies.
They asked for it. They
But while
initiated.
making these films, I found that we appear to fear and loathe zoophiles.
Who is afraid of a zoophile? Who's afraid?
Is Maverick still on? Can you translate that for us, man? Is he saying fear? I can't understand what he's saying.
What is he saying? Mate, he's
Tell
saying
me,
fear, isn't it?
Tell me. This bloke over here saying I'm fearing a horse fucker. No.
Well, yeah, it's like we're not. It's not fear.
No,
It's
no
just
one-
it's
no
a
one's
natural
fearing them.
repulsion because you're just like, well, this is not.
I think definitely
you know.
closer to loathe than to fear, but like, ugh.
Well, it's like kind of that thing where there's like, oh, you're transphobic. It's like, no, I'm not. Like,
No, I'm not.
Not you're not
I'm
afraid
not
of
afraid
people.
of them. I just don't agree
Yeah.
with fucking horses, cats, dogs, pigs, sheep, every animal that we covered so
Listen,
far.
you better
tonight.
name them all because if you don't name them all, they'll find
Then
you.
I'm not
They'll be like,
inclusive. If I don't name them all, then I'm not inclusive of all of the.
somebody's gonna come up to your house with a yak.
Just think of the
Fuck
vegan
it.
lady from earlier. She'll come. She'll find me. She'll find me.
Oh, she will. You're marked.
Mhm.
Now you're marked forever.
To make another like freaking chest tattoo. But yeah, I got another one.
Trami says that doesn't surprise me a bit, Mav. As relative to Jeremy from the Quartering being a clopper, Jeremobi also says, "I believe it. I believe that guy's he's a clopper."
More than others we define as sexually deviant. Could it be that we feel so strongly, not just because of the sexual element, but because zoophiles cross boundaries, upsetting the nature of our relationship to animals? Whether
Yeah, that's what it is, guy. It's they cross boundaries. They're trailblazers.
Yeah.
It just bothers us. They're doing something that's outside of the norm.
we keep them for pets or meat.
It's not a disease. You're not neurotic. You're not psychotic. It's a different lifestyle. It's a difference. It's
So we haven't heard from this guy at all. He's just a campfire dude.
No, they're going to bring them in here at the end of it. Terrified these
Listen,
dudes
man,
only fuck horses.
I got lots of friends, man. I got lots of friends that are into this stuff. Prophet says, I'm terrified these dudes only fuck horses. What, my goats are chopped liver?
No, they're not chopped liver, Prophet. They're for you to treat them like the queens and kings they are in the beautiful state up north.
Trami says, pioneers, like Nambla.
Dude, fuck. That's good, but
Oh, you remember? You watched the one when I watched the Chicken Hawk one. You saw that one.
Nambla.
That's an old joke. That's an old joke. from
Throwback,
when we were
baby.
Kids. Yeah, Maverick says 101% true story. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but you saw the Chicken Hawk one I did, right?
Yeah.
About the pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the rhetoric is the same.
It
Like,
is
a
the
lot of the
same.
way they phrase things, the way they or frame things rather, like the way they present their case is very similar. A lot of times it's an appeal to the past.
Well, and so is the victim in this case as well, right? Children can't give consent. These animals obviously can't give consent. And these people go through all these mental gymnastics to make it okay, to try to rationalize it. And not only just for themselves so they can live with themselves, but upon society and try to make it part of larger movements or communities. Like,
Yeah,
it's insane.
they do.
It is insane.
And like, and now we live in a time where people are like starting to question whether or not you're allowed to suggest that somebody that has a predilection might be unhealthy, might be a bad thing, might be a part of mental illness.
Mhm.
That's why like the MAP community, the minor attracted person, to try to like reframe this thing. And like my whole position is like, yeah, do people that have these feelings like need help? Should they be able to like actually like go find help? Yeah, I would hope that they would, but let's not normalize it. You got to keep the stigma. Stigma sometimes is important.
Right.
Having a stigma like that is important because that might be the only thing that deters a person from abusing a child.
Right.
And it's fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Trump says, I've watched that episode after the fact. And then Prophet says, I still remember the Nambla chant, deep cut. Yeah, that's like from when we were like 15 or 16. Nambla. Because I think it's when we found out about Nambla.
Yeah.
We thought it was hilarious.
Mhm.
North American Man-Boy Love Association. If anybody's really curious, I watched a documentary called Chicken Hawk about these guys. And you can go check that out in the Zubak archives. Yeah. Old Nightcap.
It's not disease. It's just different. It's like being gay
The gay
or
lifestyle.
bisexual.
Yeah,
You
it's like
see, there you go.
There you
Go
go.
creeping into other communities.
He's like, no, man, it's fucking just like being gay.
No,
Like,
no,
no, it's not.
no,
Not really,
it's not.
dude.
It's not.
It's different.
We would never expect anybody else or want anybody else to become this. Because if you're not, then it is not your lifestyle.
To ask a zoophile not to feel the way they
Who divined this setup, by the way? Like the campfire. And they got all these people together to sit around a campfire. And so these people could talk about this shit. Like, well done, producers. Like, cause this is
Oh, yeah. No, they did great work extracting what they wanted to extract out for this like short, compact, mockumentary of disgustingness.
it's kind of like a Best in Show. It's like a Christopher Guest movie, but like it's real.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like the darkest Christopher Guest movie ever made, but it's real.
I don't think the director of this had pure intentions. I don't think
No?
he just wanted to tell a story here.
I don't know. I can't tell. I think it's pretty ambiguous because it's like the documentary itself. I think you could read in the subtext that like it's being judgmental, but on its face, it's trying to present.
I don't think
itself
there
as
is a
not being.
single judgmental thing at all through this. But
You
then
don't think-
again,
you
they
don't
might
think, like, the weird music choices, like
they
the way
might turn it around in this 2 minutes and 27 seconds left.
No, I don't think so.
No, Sean, I think it's hilarious. I think they had fun, but I also think it might have been like a product of the times.
Yeah, that's true.
Trying to be deep though. I think we're having a go at it. We're laughing at it, but I don't think it's. I don't think it was at the time it was made. I don't believe that it's almost like.
Oh,
I think
because
they
it-
thought
yeah,
it was
because-
like really making it intimate. I thought they
Yeah,
were.
because it becomes a time where people are like very high-minded, or they're like,
Mhm.
intellectually, isn't this interesting that
we're
there's these
talking-
peoples that exist?
I
and they
think it
do
was
these
very
things?
literal. I think it was very literal on purpose. Like we're talking about the subject. Let me cut to a scene of showing these zoom ins and zoom outs of a horse as we're talking about romance.
Well, sometimes there's like horror music though.
Well,
there is a sense of self-awareness, I think, on the creator's part, because anybody that's going to watch this as just an average person would be like, oh, this is fucking weird. And it's almost like in the editing and the way they put it together, it acknowledges how strange it is.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like you said, I agree with you. I don't think it's like meant to be judgmental, but it's meant to subconsciously kind of put you at ease because they're like, yeah, this is weird.
No, because they didn't have any opposition. Like they showed like the weird preacher guy for like a hot 30 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They had one doctor. We don't know what type of doctor he was, but he wrote a book about the unconventional love of dogs or something like that. Like 2 hours ago, we got to that part, right? But he pushed back on the notion a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And that
No, but
was the only.
there's been no robust argument for the other side, right? Like there is no people that are whether they're sex therapists or psychologists being like, yeah, this is aberrant.
Mhm.
This is like
Yeah.
a mental illness. No, because I think it is in a weird way, in an
No.
abstract way, trying to launder this idea into the public consciousness of being a thing that's just like, well, this is just what some people do.
No, it's pushing
and
out
they're
there.
not
That's what I said.
hurting
I don't think
anybody.
there's like, I think it was less than pure intentions, like, like pushing this out. We're coming there because now we're ending it, right? We're ending it, nearing to the end of it the way it started. Intimate setting around a campfire. What does that invoke out of you? Comfort, joy. Anyone that's been around a freaking campfire,
Well,
has
in
a
the
positive
well,
association.
and I think even like the music, like we kind of laughed about like the Native American whistling and stuff because it's meant to like invoke history and folklore and
Mhm.
all of these things that they referenced. Even when we watched that vegan video, the first video we watched, they appeal to the past.
Yeah.
So it kind of tries to evoke that same feeling where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like something ancient and spiritual, like vaguely, even though it doesn't say it, it seems to imply that.
Right.
Like there's a deeper connection about
Yeah.
some of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Very dark stuff.
We do about animals is akin to asking a person of a certain ethnic origin or color or gender not to be in who and what they are.
Oh my God.
During the time I spent with Mark,
fucking wild,
I came to realize his relationships with Cherry and Pixel were not just about sex. However strange it may seem to us.
So this is where
for
it
Mark
stops
and for the
becoming a documentary, right?
It's like it's like a form of activism.
Mm-hmm.
It takes on that form of act because it gives these people a platform to suggest that there is something more to it than just like hedonism, like pleasure. There's something more to it. The time I spent with Mark really showed me something. Like I really learned something. Maybe it seems strange to you, but
yeah,
these are
because-
perfectly legitimate relationships.
No.
It's like
if you
it's
want
a
to
weird note to end it
reciprocate
on.
unconditional love an animal gives you, it's by not fucking it. I'm sorry. You don't fuck the animal.
Yeah, but have you seen Pixel, buddy? Have you seen Pixel?
Not have you seen Pixel? Have you combed and brushed Pixel? Have you gotten in that tub with that hot water and mane and tail?
Have you sniffed its
Rubbed?
pussy?
Get right in there.
Have you actually got in there and seen what it's like?
Have you got up in there? Have you stepped on that bucket, Sean? Have you stepped up on that bucket? No, I don't
and get
think
up
you
in them
have.
guts? Have you done that? Then who are you to judge?
Who are you to judge?
Who are you to judge?
The other
Leviticus
zoophiles,
Schmiticus.
they were genuine love affairs.
Genuine love affairs. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. Genuine love affairs. All right, you spend 5 years following these fucking people. You do a follow up on this, right? And that's your takeaway. Yeah. No, they totally have some like B-roll. So they totally
No, but that's
went
like,
into that
but
barn.
that is so often with so much of the stuff, and like you find it in, you find it on mainstream television. You find it on these things like TLC would be something where something like this would play, right?
Right.
Like our American equivalent of like what this is doing, where they're just like, where it's just the worst
Of the worst.
Worst of the worst, and it just tries to say like, well, this is legitimate. It's funny, like it came back into my life. Like my wife and I used to watch as a goof. We used to watch Sister Wives, which is about a Mormon polyamorous family.
Yeah.
And they completely mainstream and normalize the idea of those relationships. And you get to spend a ton of time with those people, and against your better judgment, you're just like, oh, they're just like regular people. Like, who am I to say otherwise? Then you.
But no, I get that, like the condition of it, and blah blah blah.
No, you
But
are being
the key thing in that though
you are
is
being
like
conditioned to normalize weird things. I've always said this about TV. Like television is in its essence like a form of programming. Television shows you where they want you to go, and movies tell you where you are and have been. Like that's the way it works. Like if you think about any social trend, it's always on TV first. It's always in sitcoms and on procedural dramas and reality shows now. They tell you like, okay, what do we want you to accept as a culture? Like maybe not today, but like 10, 15 years from now, you'll get there because we're going to keep shoving it in your face
same
over
word,
and
evolving
over.
focus group, just getting primed and groomed.
Yeah.
for the
That's why I stopped
ultimate.
watching TV and I only watch movies because I only want to know what's happening now. Prophet said, when I said appeal to the past, I meant drinking raw milk and making our own clothes. What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
No, it's just it's interesting, but it's also very dark and pernicious. And I think people maybe just kind of blindly accept these things too openly because they're like, well, it's on TV. It's on TV. Like it's on TV.
Yeah.
There's standards and practices. There's all these things that we take for granted or we assume that's content. But in reality, it's a good way to launder concepts. And you might like watch something like this and you're like, well, who am I to judge people that fuck animals? Who am I to judge? Look how normal they are. Look how
Just
how
like everyday
open this is.
people. Everyday people working the
Everyday
cash
people.
register, feeding the horses,
I mean, seriously though, that's kind of what it was, right?
providing the ponies for the birthday party. Everyday people.
Everyday folk. Everyday folks.
You know it.
Jerry and I used to
Look at that gun,
walk
dude.
the street quite a bit.
It's like got a 380, 380 Beretta there.
Yeah,
on
because
the
that's what he
fucking
does.
dash.
This guy's a rapist, dude. This guy holds his gun up to animals' heads and he said, "You better fucking stop. You better chill."
Well, mares are powerful, but I have the equalizer. You get on board, or
Get
no
on.
mergasm for you. You see how this goes?
You see how this works?
Insert
See how this works,
insert clip
motherfucker?
of the train coming. Where's that train coming? Because I feel like it should be right now,
We need the train of inevitability.
or at least in my
now.
life right now at this very moment. Watching this.
I need to be laying on the tracks.
Yeah.
Every afternoon, we'd walk down, go to the little convenience store and get some Tootsie Rolls or a tropical snow.
Mares don't like Tootsie Rolls.
Coming up on my house, we're right up here with the evergreen by the corner. Back there is where Cherry's buried. If I could push a button and have everything changed so I just had a normal life, emotionally, sexually, kept my family more or less together.
Pause.
Spend the weekends grilling
So do you
hamburgers in
think
the
the cat?
backyard.
Do you think the cat is just a pet or a pet? It's been going on my mind.
I think he's probably open to it.
Right.
He needs to wait.
Here's the thing: like when you get exclusive, right? Because some people, like with the vegan chick, some people think animals are pets, and some think that they are food. Whatever we want to, right? So where do you draw? Is there a line, right, where like, no, this animal
Well,
for
hey,
lovemaking,
think
and
about it
this
like
one
this,
is
Paul.
not?
Well, think about it like this: if you were hungry enough and you had a cat, would you eat the cat?
Yeah.
So if you think about their predilections, if you were horny enough and there was nothing else,
But these are
would you fuck the
obviously
cat?
these people are obviously not in a situation where they don't have the means to find the mare to get the mergasm that they've been looking for, right?
But you never know, so it's good to have these things
It's
handy.
just like I guess we never will know because the fucker's dead, right? But
What if
it's just like,
Pixel becomes frigid? You know,
right? She comes cold, bitch. She
What
comes a
if-
cold
what if at
bitch.
one point
I
the
bet
juice
you
is not
remind
worth
me
the
of my
squeeze?
human wife that I had. You know what? This is hey Pixel. This is getting too complicated. I'm
What,
going with
six
this cat.
apples now? Six apples now? What the fuck?
6 apples. Whoa. Oh, what do you think?
What are
the
you-
shit grows on trees?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what am I, an apple tree, bitch? Fuck you! I got a cat. I don't
my
need
God.
you, Pixel. I got this fucking pussy in here. Don't worry about it.
don't know.
Don't even worry about it, Pixel. You go out and you
Oh,
drink
yeah.
that water.
Yeah, but look at that freeze frame, man. It looks like a white Uncle Ruckus. The way Uncle Ruckus wanted to be. The way Uncle Ruckus wish he looked like.
Lord, praise the white Jesus.
Praise white baby Jesus. Praise him. Praise be.
Gaming Dragon says Cherry's dead.
Sorry, dude.
to report
Spoiler
it.
alert. Yeah, we fucked
Sorry,
that up.
Cherry was his first mare, and then he got Pixel, who he's now married to. Unofficial ceremony, granted, but he did commit himself to Pixel.
Right.
And drink a couple beers with my buddies while I watched a football game on Sunday afternoon. In other words, just be Joe Average. Would I do it? Would I choose? Could I? If I could make a choice between being a zoo and being, quote, normal, end quote. God, I don't know. I don't know.
Since this documentary was filmed,
shit.
Mark has died from his illness. Oh no. Now we ride these horses in his honor.
We ride.
Stay
Christopher
before
Spencer.
light. Well, there you have it, everybody. Gaming Dragon says, "What about a mini horse?"
Well,
Oh, that's
that
what
was
that's what Pixel
Pixel.
is. That's
Yeah.
that's who Pixel is. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it.
Well,
took my
buddy.
eyes. Dude, Paul, you should see if like Christopher Spencer's like on Twitter. If he is like he part of the movement, is he keeping that like fancy word that starts with an A that we can't pronounce from Vegan Lady? Like, is he out there preaching the gospel of this still? 17 years later.
He's like, you cannot be anthropomorphic centric. You can't do it. You can't
Very
do
good,
it.
dude. Props on that, dude. I still can't say that.
Anthropomorphic. It's from an episode of Portlandia. That's where I first got it because they used it in a joke where they're like, we're the anthropomorphic animals of the sea or something. It was like a band that the parents start that they're like part of a parent teacher group.
Yeah. Well, hot damn, dude. Thank you.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Like, listen, I know you loved what we saw. Okay.
Total spank bank material. Which is probably like the first stage, right? Internalized yourself, but then eventually you teeter out. I just need to go out eventually out into the universe until an animal decides to choose me, just like we saw in all the other subjects in this documentary that we just watched.
I might have to do a follow up because I just looked up zoophilia on Facebook, or not Facebook, on YouTube rather. Loving animals, historical reflections on bestiality, zoophilia, and post-human love.
Post-human love.
Here's one that I've watched before. It's a kind of a short video. Animal lovers interview with a zoophile. It's the guy who's like in a relationship with his dog, a German dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This mine might have to be we might have to go back to this well.
All right.
Trami wants you to know you did well, Paul.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
you, buddy.
You hung in. It's tough.
Man, my word. I said I'd finish
Listen,
it.
NIGHTCAP is tough, and it's for no one. Like, NIGHTCAP is a tough thing because we get into some dark shit. That's the fun though. Like, sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get into. Like tonight, I knew obviously because I've seen this before. But part of the fun is that sense of discovery. And anybody who's watching it with me, we're all discovering it together. It's all generally like you got to be the authentic reaction tonight. Like normally it's me watching a woman eat a melon for 13 minutes before she like talks about whatever she's going to talk about. And in the first time I watched this, I was just so like, what the fuck? Yeah.
God damn.
But it's good stuff. I think that's another NIGHTCAP in the books. Actually, this has been about as long as most NIGHTCAPs go.
Amen.
We wrung it out for all it was worth. Thank everybody for watching. Thanks to Rami, Maverick, Jeremobi, Gaming Dragon, Prophet, of course. Ride or die.
Ride or die.
Ride or die, buddy. Jeremobi says NIGHTCAP equals discovery. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Gaming Dragon says night clap. Trami says fun as always. Peace, guys. See you later, buddy. Prophet says feels ill. Fucking. It's so like, dude, like it's just there's so much shit out there. Like you feel so like such a naive normie because I'm not like a super online person. I'm really not. But I have become more in the past like year or so, and there's still so many things that I find shocking and weird and yeah, it's nice to actually do it with somebody. I think you're the first person really ever that has come on NIGHTCAP. Most of the time I do NIGHTCAP by myself. And good night, Jeremobi. Prophet says NIGHTCAP. Oh, he's got a link. Oh, fuck.
Shit.
This motherfucker, I gotta go find the link now. Hold on. Yeah, actually, he said he was going to send us that link of him doing that shit with that Sydney. All right, let me see if I can find it now. Hold on. He's got it. All right, so we'll watch Prophet getting Sydney Watson from You Are Here to read his super chat. Prophet's got like this little love affair with this woman. So we'll check it out before we bounce. Okay, we're gonna do this. Now I gotta find it. I gotta do this now. All this hard, complicated work I gotta do. Inshallah, Sydney, share. Okay. So Prophet got Sydney to read his super chat, and he's very excited. He's creaming. He's creaming. He's cooming, dude.
He's cooming so hard.
He was cooming so hard. He filmed this on his phone so he could share it with us. All right, there we go. Let's check it out.
Ankles are still out.
No, I am. I'm an Elijah Jew matriarchal. I'm scamming everyone. I have $50 billion in the bank. Don't lie to them. I'm a scammer. I have $50 billion.
These ones are bad. D Prophet says, Inshallah, Sydney. Blessed is your most noble crusade of slaying the infidel. May Allah smile down upon you and the Jewish co-host. Are you a Jew now?
Oh my God! No, he did not.
Yes.
When did you convert?
I don't know. Are you a Jew? Like,
no, you did not.
So I'm Jewish today.
Alrighty, Jack.
Go back 10 seconds. What she says, D Prophet.
She did not fucking read that. That's crazy.
Dude, go back, please.
Damn, I'm an Elijah Jew matriarchal. I'm scamming everyone. I have $50 billion in the bank. Don't lie to them. I'm a scammer. I have $50 billion.
These ones are bad. D Prophet says, Inshallah, Sydney. Blessed is your most noble crusade of slaying the infidel for his degeneracy. May Allah smile down upon you and the Jewish co-host. Are you a Jew?
Yes.
I cannot fucking believe that shit. That's crazy. We gotta watch that one more time, dude. That's so funny. That's so fucking hysterical.
No, I am. I'm an Elijah Jew matriarchal.
I cannot believe you read that shit.
I have $50 billion.
These ones are bad. D Prophet says, Inshallah, Sydney. Blessed is your most noble crusade of slaying the infidel for his degeneracy. May Allah smile down upon you and the Jewish co-host. Are you a Jew now?
Oh my God.
Yes.
When did you convert?
I don't know. Are you a Jew?
Oh my God. Jai bless everybody. Holy shit. I cannot believe you. I can't even believe that shit. That's fucking, oh my God. That's all-timer. That's all-timer, Prophet.
Legend, buddy.
That's legendary status. Holy shit. That is the funniest fucking thing I've seen in a minute. Oh my God. Well, on that note, I think we gotta give
Can't
props.
top that, man.
No, we gotta give props to to who she destroyed, the degenerate. So we're gonna end the show with a little video. And then we'll be out, and we'll see you guys on Friday night. I'll be back Friday night watching more stupid shit. Enjoy. Good night.
I am not going to talk about this. And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now. Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Elizabeth-
Heartfelt.